Alrighty, guys. Well, somebody sent this to me in the Discord. Apparently, Oompaville is doing the rounds on all of the food-related lol cows. So I'm assuming Foodie Beauty will be next on the list. Worlds are currently colliding. It's very interesting. That vegan teacher and I both grew up together on TikTok, and of course, she's made videos about me. And she didn't like it when I said that she was attractive, so I'm sorry, that vegan teacher. Okay, I'm sorry that I put you in that space. Anyway, let's get this going. It says vegan from now on from Oompaville. So let's get this party started.
Waiting on the vegan teacher. She's lost. Back roads, you can see. We're in rural Texas. And so I somehow got her down here. I got her to come to Texas from Canada. She's like lived in Montreal or something like that.
This is spooky.
I don't know why she agreed to come. I'm not going to like expose her or troll her or whatever. I just think
she probably saw the Nicholas Ocado thing and you treated Nick pretty well. Now she's going to go over there and she's just going to be a crazy cracker. She's just probably going to go like ballistic and just be bizarre and use it as an opportunity to, you know, promote veganism. So
it'd be funny if we just kind of hung out for a few days.
All right, you're gonna kiss.
And got to see maybe what she's all about.
Oh my god, she's going Super Saiyan already. Here we go. She's shooting guns? Oh, well, maybe she's hunting the hunters. Huh? You think so? Maybe she's just hunting the hunters. That's her MO. Which makes sense. Intro. Was she dancing? Wow.
Yes, this video is real. Yes, that is me, and yes, that is my aunt. That.
Wow. I mean, this feels like this is an acid
vegan
trip.
teacher, Miss Katie.
What would you like me?
This is Ant. What?
This video is real. Yes.
What?
Yes, this video is real. Yes, that is me, and yes, that is my aunt. That vegan teacher, Miss Katie.
What would you like me to?
That's his. Is that his actual aunt? What?
Call you
Miss Katie.
Miss Katie. Okay.
Get comfy here.
A lot of people think you're my aunt.
Well, I am.
You do feel like family, I'll be honest. Over the last couple days.
Oh, okay. I guess that she's not actually the aunt. Okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the people think that it's his aunt because they're both kind of autistic, but not derogatory. Okay. All right. I think that that's actually true. All right. Don't worry.
Very much so.
Okay.
It's good. Is that her?
They look like they could be related.
Oh my God, dude.
Just look at how excited she is. It's like a
You all know
horror
this
game.
woman. She's been around. She's a pariah on the internet.
Yeah.
She's hated and talked down upon by almost every single YouTube commentator.
True, but also she calls out every single YouTube commentator in hopes that they'll talk about her so she can make a video about veganism. You know, to be honest with you, as obnoxious as she is, she does get her message out there. I will tell you that.
I hate Oompaville. I hate him.
We've even had a bit of a back and forth over
And it worked. Look, it worked. Now she's here.
the last few years. But in spite of all that, I tried reaching out to her and creating a situation in which she would feel comfortable enough to come to me and we could sit down and talk in person. And my God, I did it!
How's it going?
It's pretty good.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
You look
Aw.
way prettier in real life.
Thank you. Do you like my beautiful hair?
Prettier in real life.
I do.
Incredible.
And I like your cloak. It's very cult-like.
You are in a cult. And yeah, you said that you weren't sure where I lived, and I didn't give you the exact address. I gave you a coordinate.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty.
He's that nervous. I just gave her a coordinate. Meet me at the side of the road, and I'll drive you to the house blindfolded. I can't trust you.
Giving. I've been walking for about 6 kilometers. About, you know, walking.
The fuck is a kilometer, bro? Oh, can somebody give me that in American?
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see you.
The terms of our agreement are as such. A, I would not be rude, I would be nice. B, I would be not vegan by accident for the time that she was there. Out of respect, obviously. I'm not going to eat a steak while she's sitting at my dinner table. C, I wouldn't expose her or leak any
$5, I'll leak her credit card number. Incredible.
private information. And another thing that I promised her is that I would let you guys educate yourselves if you wanted to become vegan. So below, I'll link the vegan teacher's channel, her TikTok, and 2 documentaries, and then a video that I found the most interesting.
Oh, yeah, she loves these documents. I forget what they're called.
You guys can educate yourselves if you want and make your own decisions. I'm just here to make you all laugh, hopefully, and entertain.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone can see your shirt, Caleb.
True.
It's very important
This
that
was a
they
gift.
do.
This was a gift. This was a gift.
Why
This
does
is my
audio
tofu
go
hunting
low?
shirt.
I'll turn myself
I
down.
wear it with pride. I tried tofu for the first time with you.
Yeah.
Well, we cooked some. You cooked some in an absolutely horrific way.
What is this?
Hi.
Is it like, you cook it like?
What is tofu? It's just a plant, right? It's just a gross plant. I'd rather just eat broccoli. You know, apparently you can get like mushrooms and you could set them up in a way that that's kind of like a steak. There's like these huge ball mushrooms. Very interesting.
Sear it?
I just like don't know.
What is it? Soy?
Yeah, I just.
Soybeans? It smells like wet monkey scalp.
How long have you been making videos?
What kind? I mean, just like.
Just in general.
Whoa, what kind? Are you having a teacher? Are you trying to tell us something? I mean, certainly for research purposes, I would.
How long have you been creating content?
Well, it all started with my kids. Back in the camcorder days, I filmed them constantly.
Oh, that's kind of normal.
Because I found them to be fascinating. And just keeping the camera there, I'm trying not to improve.
Okay, now it's weird. You found your kids fascinating. Like people usually record their kids to like record their every moment, which, by the way, kind of takes away from the experience of actually raising them. But you just find your kids fascinating, interesting. What a specimen she is.
I feel like it's a very normal thing to film your kids. I think my parents filmed me a lot when I was an infant. I always wanted to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell.
Kind of assumed that.
I rushed and hid all the meat in my entire house in a small hole in the backyard, and we went to Walmart and we bought you some stuff on Fight Night. Like, this is from our home. This is a southern dish. Southern vegans eat these. It's called boiled peanuts. You ever had a boiled peanut?
Oh.
No, but if you're
They're
vegan,
disgusting.
you know what that means. Okay, so yeah. Oh, what? What the hell is that?
Peanuts.
What do you mean peat? Wait, what?
Peanuts.
No. That.
It's a peat nut.
But they have the shells on them.
Yeah, they're boiled peanuts. I'll show you how to eat them.
You know, I've seen those on like TikTok. There's this guy who does boiled peanuts and he puts them in like spicy stuff. It's pretty interesting. I don't think I'd ever eat it because it sounds disgusting, but it's interesting.
Here, look.
What?
Make a TikTok. Make a.
Remember when Vegan Teacher tried to rewrite the meaning of the N-word? Yeah, I don't know if I wonder if Oompaville will bring that up. Oompaville will he's like, oh, Vegan Teacher, what was with you trying to rewrite the N-word? And she'll be like, oh, what? No, who?
TikTok.
When did you become vegan?
Okay, so first I was vegetarian for a long time, not really kind of cluing in or realizing.
Right.
And that it was wrong. And
I'm a vegetarian. Which isn't even true because I like fucking femboy penis, so.
then when I became vegan, I started to do content just on Facebook. Most people who become vegetarian or vegan have that moment where they are just kind of shocked about what's going on, like the degree when you really watch the slaughter. And then they just assume that they're going to tell everyone and everyone's going to have the same reaction as them. And then
Yeah, I've seen it, man. The videos of little cows and stuff getting killed, and it's so sad I just stopped watching it because, you know, I want to keep eating it.
and they're just like devastated and shocked. This is what all the teenagers tell me. Like, I found out what happened. I'm going to tell my mom and dad right away. We all have to be vegan. I'm like, but I always think about the kids and the teenagers coming out. I say coming out of the closet as a vegan, and I even argue that it can be more difficult to come out of the closet as a vegan.
than-
No, she doesn't. She says it is more difficult, and it's just not, okay? Listen, not for nothing, but being a vegan, there is it is contractual within the vegan circle that you have to let everybody know that you are vegan at every point, or else you are no longer welcome in the vegan club. That is a true objective fact. Vegans are forced to tell everybody that they're vegan, or else they get pushed out of the club, okay? All right, gay people, not so much. Some gay people could get made fun of or get hurt. Well, vegans will get made fun of, but vegans don't get hurt. The only reason that a vegan would get hurt for coming out as vegan is if they just are existing in their normal everyday lives because they don't have enough of the right vitamins, so their bones break very easily, okay? Gay people in some areas are still get threatened if they come out as gay, okay? It's not the same thing. You're a silly goose.
people
A
hate
gay
that.
person?
People hate that. But the reality is that many people come out of the closet as gay, lesbian, trans. Nowadays, nobody gives a shit. It's like, okay.
That's not true. It's more accepted now, but it's not true. Like, it's still not true. I know plenty of gay people who still don't feel comfortable coming out, because they don't want their family to be like think less of them or think down on them or make a comment about them. She's just incorrect. No vegan faces anywhere near the same. They don't even face oppression. Okay, relax.
Whatever. That's fine.
The internet does not like it when you say that.
All right, so
She's
also
wrong.
I realized
She's
that I
a
forgot
dumb idiot.
the key to my gate to get in my property, so we're gonna have to climb the fence.
Climb the fence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know
shit.
how old I am? I'm 58. You didn't make me do acrobatics now?
Oh, she does look good for 58.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
She's forcing us to do this. She's forcing us to do this.
Falling down. Yay, Caleb.
Sorry to break
Wow, what a fucking cringe lord.
your immersion, but there's 2 more hours of this, basically, that I'm kind of afraid to even upload to YouTube. If you guys really want to see them, I can try to post them as like a part 2 or something. Where's the like?
There you go. All right, now we're gonna get all the equipment out. Who wants to carry this? Oh, Tex wants to carry this a bit. Oh, Tex. This is your gift, remember? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Raffle there. My big old front flat's kind of hard to get over this fence.
His dingle front flap.
What do you think of Texas so far?
I think that Texas
So he forgot his keys, so he has to climb the fence. Don't you think that maybe your house it's not that safe then, if that's something that's happening?
has a lot of gas stations, a lot of open places, and a lot of schmurnered people.
What's schmurnered mean? Am I schmurnered?
Occasionally,
What is schmurnered?
when you have that look like no expression, like you just don't know which way to step back.
Oh, it's like I thought it was a vegan thing. Schmurnered.
What about if I get real close to the camera and I give him a 1,000-yard stare?
That's the one.
Every time I've ever even not gone hard or said anything rude or been like, outwardly trying to make fun, people were like, don't you know she's a homophobe, a transphobe, and a racist?
I don't think I'm racist. In fact,
She is very, bro. Like, listen, and I'm not trying to cancel Miss Katie, 58-year-old, okay, because she's less racist than other 58-year-olds. But this motherfucker took a doll of a little black girl doll, put it on the screen, and wrote the N-word next to the doll, and then wrote down like a word for each letter. So like the N was and I don't know, the I was like incredible. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. That what are you talking? She's certainly something else. I'll tell you that. Okay, it's a little crazy. She put the whole ass N-word on the fucking screen, bro. I saw it. It was crazy.
in fact, I will argue that everyone who eats meat is racist.
I
They
am,
are racist
yeah.
towards the animals. They
Oh no, I'm not racist towards animals. I hate animals. I'm speciesist. But me eating meat does make me racist. Okay, it's the testosterone. All right, I think that testosterone makes people racist because think about this. Okay, really think about it. Okay, who are the people that are really saying the N-word? 90% of the people saying the N-word are men. Okay, men are more racist than women. All right, I just think that's the truth. Even hard R, not the soft A. Even when they're friends with each other, right? You see that guy and Bobby Lee. They're friends, and they're always like Bobby Mata. You know, that's men are racist. I don't think women are, and if a woman is acting racist, in my opinion, it's worse. Okay, because it's not expected. It's like you don't even have the testosterone. You don't have the mental illness of being a man to justify your racism, ma'am. Okay? So, I'm just saying.
point out one being and they say, you are a piece of shit, I'm going to eat you, and you, oh, I like you, you're going to come into my house, I'm going to take care of you.
I don't call them a piece. They're not even human. They're not even like alive to me. When I'm cooking a burger on the grill, I'm not like, you piece of shit. I don't even think about it. That's just food, you know? I feel bad, though. Those cows are dying.
Complete opposites.
I do that
Yeah,
actively.
yeah, and you're a piece of shit for it.
Yeah, true. She does this whole thing where she compares like black people to animals. Or like people of color to animals. Oh yeah, you're racist if you don't like black people or animals because they're the same. Right? It's not really what she's saying, but it's like the implications almost of it. It's like the subtextual argument. I don't think she realizes it.
She's still in that thing over there? What a absurd, surreal experience this is. We've been trying really hard. I've been eating so much Chick-fil-A lately that it's like hard to break the habit now
Yeah.
already. And like she's here, so I gotta quit.
We force you to eat boiled peanuts. A little southern vegan delicacy. Were they good?
This is, guys, these
gotta heat 'em up first.
What is that, like caviar in the South?
Did you?
Eat 'em.
But they're hard as well.
That's why you have to heat them up so they're soft.
Is it sexist to call women less racist because of tea? I mean, I'm like half kidding. I don't know. Like I'm like half the shit I'm saying is just absurdly stupid. Okay. I mean, I've noticed that men are more racist than women, but men are also say racist shit to their fucking like friends in friend groups. That's weird. When men are bizarre. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, boiled peanuts. It's a southern delicacy.
You eat the shells?
The inside was fine. I mean, it's sort of weird. You open a can of peanuts and they have shells on them. It's like, what?
Weird,
You
yeah.
need to work.
Here, I made you a delicious meal.
It looks so good. I can't wait to try this.
I made you a succulent
It
piece
is
of meat.
peanuts. It is peanuts that have the
Handle.
foreskin on them still.
Disgusting.
Poor people from the South made that up.
And did they eat the shells?
I don't know, to be honest.
See, we don't know. Because
I don't know.
I'm thinking, you know, like you can eat the kiwi on the outside. A lot of people don't know
the
that.
hairy like
But you probably could eat the shells. There's probably like a lot of fiber in there. Not necessarily good fiber, but
The hairy, yeah.
I don't really know anything
Scrotum.
about
Oh,
the
nutrition.
kiwi scrotum.
Or also
This is
being
a
skinny.
SIG. This is a SIG.
Is that named after Freud or something? Or
Yeah, it's a Sigmund Freud. This is Sigmund Freud. This is B&T, which is named after, it's actually now called Truist. It's a banking, it's a bank. This is a Henry,
Okay.
Okay.
Model X in 3030. And this one, actually, is one that I got for you.
Okay.
Wow, it's a beautiful gun.
Thank you.
I wanted to draw something about
Incredible.
go vegan from now on, I think.
Yeah.
On it, but I couldn't find a marker.
Okay. Yeah. So we're trying to like shoot this thing, right?
Didn't have like a Walmart around it. Okay.
Over there, that big thing you built.
No,
Shooting?
that's a trebuchet. That's secret. Oh. We're shooting this piece of dirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you bring any pictures of Gordon Ramsay?
No, I didn't.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Now, I mentioned to you that I would love to drink breast milk.
You've already had it before, no?
Yes,
Never?
I have. Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
I mean, I'm kind of curious about it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not gonna pretend I haven't thought about drinking breast milk before. Like, well, my wife's pregnant. I'm gonna try it. Why not? I mean, it's probably healthier than cow's milk. So
ask
I was
your mom.
I stopped when I was like 11.
Okay,
Just kidding.
right.
That's a joke.
what? That's a long time. Oh, okay.
I would drink it now, though, is what I'm saying. If they had
Ask your mom.
She's not. I don't believe my mom is lactating.
Okay, so you're full of
No, I think that might be a little weird.
shit. There's no way. Your mother, okay, if your mom, for some reason, how old is she?
57.
Okay, whatever. So let's say she's 40, let's say she's in her 40s, she has another kid. You'd be like, Mom, I'd really like to taste your breast milk. Is that okay? You'd just go ahead and just, on a regular basis, just, hey, give me a shot, Mom. Like, why?
Why not?
Why?
Why wouldn't I?
Okay, well, when you're married and you have a wife and she has a baby, you can go ahead and experiment then if you want. I'm sure she'll be fine. And that will be vegan because it's consensual.
Ah.
You mentioned that you had death threats, etc.,
Yeah.
which is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to see anyone be hated by anyone really necessarily, unless they do something abhorrently evil or wrong, which I don't think you've done anything abhorrently.
Nah, she's not really abhorrently evil. She's just a fucking idiot, okay? That's pretty much all it comes down to. She's just a moron. It's just dumb shit. But nobody takes her seriously, thank God, so.
Evil or wrong. So you don't deserve death threats, and you probably don't know how to defend yourself because you're Canadian and also vegan. That's like two stereotypes.
What do you mean? It's always a good skill to learn.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like
the
I
harm's
say,
going.
when in
Karate?
doubt, check it out. If you're not sure, go for the new experience.
When in doubt, check
That doesn't rhyme. I wanted that to rhyme.
it out. I'm about to fire this weapon.
Yeah, and I'm taking that back to Canada with me, right? It's cool to go over the border
Uh,
with it. I think it should be fine, right?
you
It's
should be
pink,
able
so
to-
they'll never.
Yeah, if it's pink.
Let's talk about the kit you got on this thing.
And also, yeah, so basically, it's a pink weapon, right? It's pink. It is now loaded, so I don't want to point it at my best friend.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a
Oh my
suppressor.
God.
All right, so this will make it quiet. Yeah,
Well, these are interesting because
Ish.
you can see the bullets.
Why did
yeah, those are more educational
Right. Okay.
because you can see through the bullets.
Yeah, you can. I guess that's how you teach kids to count here in Texas.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so ready? This is firing.
Oh wow, that was not very noisy.
Is it a gun or it's like an airsoft gun? I've never heard a silencer on a gun except for in Hitman or GoldenEye where they say it's supposed to be like non-existent, but I think that that's not true.
No, really, it's pretty quiet. Would you like to shoot it?
So scary how not scary that was.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to create allies in the LGBTQ community?
Well, first of all, I'm a member. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Her official membership.
Okay, so I'm bisexual,
Okay.
possibly pansexual, I don't know.
Well, considering she thinks that it's racist to eat animals, I imagine her saying she's bisexual is because she actually wants to fuck dogs. I don't think that she's attracted to women. I think that she wants to fuck dogs. So
It's not really something that I explore further now because I'm married. I'm in a monogamous relationship and I'm fine with that. When I was younger, I always knew from the time, like my very first crush that I ever remember was when I was 5 years old in kindergarten. And there was this little girl named Natalie and she was so cute. And I just remember always wanting
maybe Natalie was trans. You fucking transphobe.
to just kind of like snuggle up to her. Now, of course, there's no sexuality involved, right? But there's
You're
this,
5.
but then there was a kid in grade 4, his name was Pierre, and he was so cute. And I thought, how old are you in grade 4? I think it was 9. And it was, so you're still not mature, but you still know.
Yeah.
Like, did you have a crush on girls when you were younger? Like, in
I
your,
had a crush on a kid named Pierre in grade 4.
you're right.
I was homeschooled.
Hey, maybe you had a crush on your mommy. That's why you don't drink her breast milk, brother.
Let's face it. I was, I did go to the gay bars as a young lady to try to figure stuff out, and I sort of realized that I liked women, but not necessarily those ones that were so tough and rough. And
Right.
So she didn't like masculine women. She didn't like, what do they call them? Butch women? Yeah. Okay.
I played ball hockey for a while, and there was a lot of lesbians who were kind of mean, honestly. So it kind of turned me off, even though I just was in the wrong crowd.
She's calling out the lesbians.
I was like, where are the nice lesbians who
Oh,
are
I-
sweet and not so tough? So I couldn't find them. So I'm like, I found a guy who was nice, and so
Yeah.
that's how it worked out for me.
Is scissoring real?
Sorry. Just need a second.
Let's talk about the animals.
Okay.
Let's just first make sure that everybody reads my message here, which says,
Yeah.
Right there.
There you go.
if you're not vegan, you're paying for animal abuse. So do not shoot animals with guns. Guns are only meant for people. And
What a fucking based message. Do not shoot animals with guns. Just shoot people with guns.
the legs are, I can just rest it on the legs if I want to.
Yeah, like you could just bend down a little bit and then sit on the legs like this. And
What
then
do you think about Alex Baldwin? The fact that
the fact that he murdered a woman?
Okay, that says it all. Yeah.
Well, so my understanding of the Alex Baldwin thing is that it was like a manslaughter. I don't know. That whole situation is kind of fucked, but that's what they reviewed the evidence, so.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying.
Neither do I.
I'm trying stuff.
I'm confused as shit.
You know,
Genuinely. Every day.
Rest in peace to the woman who was shot, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I wake up and I'm like,
That's what I do. Look, you know what?
again!
Pretty much. Look, you know what? I was never a smart kid in school, and somehow I ended up being a nurse in an intensive care unit and had a person there who was
That just shows us the absolute state of our nurses now. Okay, we are so nurse starved. Okay, it's crazy.
just on life support, barely alive, on a ventilator, and with a swan dance catheter in their heart, and had to do all these tests, arterial lines, and I was it. Every time I go in there, I'd be like, how the fuck did I end up here? Like, I'm not smart enough. Like that imposter syndrome.
Right.
It's like I'm not smart enough to be here. I'm not good enough to be
Sussy.
here. Why am I here in front of this camera and these lights? Like, it should be someone better, a better spokesperson, someone smarter, someone taller. Yeah, too. Yeah. With a better nose and not a cold sore. You know, like.
Hey, I wish I was a little bit. I actually don't. I'm 6'4". I was gifted genetically. I'm pretty sure that if I was born 1,000 years ago, they would have thought I was the son of Zeus. Okay, maybe more than 1,000 years. I don't even know time. Son of Odin, son of Kashmir. I don't know all the gods. Sorry.
Never a cute nose. Like, you have a nice nose.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's another thing too. You mentioned you'd like to have fun. You are very fun. You do like to have a lot of fun, and also you have so much fucking energy.
I guess it's that vegan diet.
Oh my god.
I mean, this is the first time she's hung out with somebody that's a content creator and probably had a positive experience, right? So
That it's almost infuriating because I'm like, I'm 26 and you're what, 300?
Well, I have to admit it.
damn.
399. Yeah, the kids are always saying that. I'm like, I look
I think she meant 299.
pretty
But
good, eh, for 98.
Genuinely do.
No,
For the crypt keeper.
no.
Now, how do you know that there's not just like a random squirrel there?
Well, you don't.
What? I'm not shooting. I'm gonna pretend.
Hey, squirrel.
No, I'm not.
Shoot,
No,
shoot.
you know what? I never thought of that before. No, I could be just innocently shooting like an ant or something.
Sure,
It
well,
was just like minding their own business.
Yeah, probably.
yeah, maybe an uncle.
Can I go over there and check?
Sure.
Who knows? Just stand in the way of the bullet, that being a teacher, and you won't have a problem. Okay, then you won't kill anybody or any animal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's a calculated risk.
Okay.
I can't believe she's gonna take the risk of shooting an innocent squirrel or ant or grandfather. I couldn't say uncle again. It's funny.
Yeah, I'll have to reload it.
Oh, did I hurt you?
Yeah, my balls hurt.
Damn.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, is she grabbing his balls?
How big are his balls? They're hanging on the ground. Like why?
It runs in the family.
Why did that hurt your
True.
balls?
Congratulations.
More like it drags in the family. I get it, because your balls are dragging on the ground.
So next we'll shoot a pistol.
Okay.
Are you aware of pistols?
Yeah.
They're illegal in Canada now. Is it a 509C?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is my carry weapon, so I'll show you. This is how you shoot it. Okay. Point, aim, slowly pull the trigger.
Wow.
What the hell just flew back? That could have hit us in the head.
That was a casing of a bullet.
Yeah.
That could have hit him.
He'd have been all right.
A lot of people are just gonna be mad at me for even having you here. Like, they were mad at me for interviewing Andrew Tate. They were mad at me for having
But did he interview entertain?
Nick over. They've been mad. Like, people just get mad for no reason.
Yeah, that's why you should just stop caring about what people think. It becomes difficult because people are mad at me for stuff like every week. There's like a take that, oh, I don't like this take. Oh, all right, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. All right, you'll be over it in 3 days. You know, it's just bunker down for a little bit, maybe a week, and you'll be like, I'm unsubscribing to you, blah blah blah. And then like a week later, they're back. You know, you just want to be heard. And I just want to let you know something. I'm not listening to you. You're not heard. Okay, they're heard a little bit. I read the comments, but whatever.
And they don't want to
Sometimes.
hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear anything that is outside, like what you're saying. They want to be the big fish in the little pond. Everyone does. Like, that's
Big
like,
pond
you're
and a
naturally
little
inclined.
fish.
So it's a very impressive that you have the inclination to willingly be like.
Are people like that? They all want to be the big fish.
They want to be accepted, and they want to have path of least resistance. There's a reason we have like an obesity crisis and things like that, because life is very easy, and people want life to remain very, very, very easy.
Sure, I guess.
So,
Maybe.
people, you can all suck it.
Probably a few more systemic issues, but we don't really have to get into that every video.
I think that these statements that you've made, that we just covered, like the transphobia, the homophobia, the racism, do you think those are the reasons you've gotten banned, or do you think it's like mass reporting, or
It's everything.
Just everything.
It's a mass
hate you.
misunderstanding, mass ignorance. People cannot
You are the mass ignorant person.
read between the lines.
Okay.
They can't understand.
they got poop in their ass?
I don't know.
They're constipated.
Maybe.
They're intellectually constipated.
Yeah.
Eat some fiber.
This is a SIG 553. It shoots 300 blackout.
That seems scary.
That one's scary.
Didn't it? That's what you hear in the middle of the night if you know some animal just dropped dead.
This is BMT APC. You want one?
Yeah.
Ready?
Go.
This one's gonna be pretty quiet. Would you like to shoot this one? Okay, this one's on safe. Fire when ready.
Okay. If there's any squirrels, time to run away. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. That was fun. It doesn't seem as scary. I don't know why. It's bigger.
When you think of it from the perspective that there's an explosion going on in it, you want more mass.
Okay. But I don't like the fact that it goes backwards.
Yeah.
I just have to be ready.
Yeah, it's making me nervous.
And
I farted.
That's not the goal of this, by the way,
Same.
is to have a hate brigade. I feel like I've done a good job so far of not like trying to instigate anything. I'm gonna hopefully continue that. You said you watched my Salt Bay video and I mentioned beef or something like that. I forget exactly how what happened, but you tweeted me and then all these people were just like, sending just so many videos of just trolls.
Yeah.
Sending you stuff.
The fact that so many of you made it so much worse. Like, I'm not exaggerating if I say I believe that people have committed because of those actions.
What? What is she talking about?
Because I know that kids, teenagers, have written to me how devastated they've been, and I've had some very close to me
Over what? Eating meat?
on Instagram, like writing to me all the time, who just completely disappeared. And I think about them now because they
Probably just got older and they're like, wow, I don't want to talk to this person anymore.
found it. They said it's just so hard. They're getting bullied, and their parents don't understand, and they just can't believe how terrible the world is. And that really keeps me up at night.
Because they're vegan? I'm like confused. Did I miss something? Is she saying that this is all because they're vegan? Okay.
These big stars, when they make fun of me, initially, yeah, it was like, why are people attacking me? But you know,
No, she wants them to make fun of her. She seeks it out. Every one of her videos is like a call out to somebody else to try to get them to talk shit about her so that she can get her message out there, which is fine, but don't play the victim.
I'm a big girl. I can like step out of the way, and I can carry on.
How do you feel being a sort of pariah of the internet at this point? Like you mentioned, Gordon Ramsay, Call Me Chris. So many people, Daz Games. So many people have made videos just going at you.
Damn,
like it's
Daz
like a
Games,
literal
too.
punching bag.
I think at this point, it's sort of I've accepted it. I think. What's sad is that when I do approach somebody new, I don't want to be prejudicial, but I find that I am so used to the negativity from the Ben of the Week, all these people that immediately attack, that I go into it and I always have to remind myself, this person might be different. This time, when I talk to the person, maybe they'll be kind.
Right.
Like there is no excuse for people like Call Me Chris and Sniper Wolf to continue to talk about the animals and to just eat them. I mean, just promote them or say anything.
What the fuck is does Sniper? What do they have to do with anything? I'm a little confused. Doesn't she like? Okay.
They should immediately have said, and Gordon Ramsay too, and so should you. All of you should have said, she's trying to do the right thing, and there's nothing wrong with being vegan, and we should all be attempting to head that way.
I will say you are the most honest vegan I've ever met in my entire life. I've met a lot of vegans, and most all of them, it was just a phase that they went through. Pretty much all of them. It was just a phase that they went through when they were like, whatever, trying to,
Well, I don't think that makes anybody honest or dishonest.
they use it as like a form of identity. You are, by, no standard,
It's certainly her identity. Let's be real here, okay?
the most vegan person I've ever met in my entire life.
That's
and the
probably
most
true.
responsible and respectable version of that as well, in real life especially. I feel like a lot of
maybe
what
in real life,
you like
sure.
are as a character from what I've learned over the last couple of days is kind of lost on TikTok and the short form stuff. And it's so
Well, yeah, because she portrays herself like a fucking psychopath. She knows what she's doing. Okay, she knows exactly what she's doing.
easy for people to just read a comment and then their entire perspective of what you're saying is going to be changed. And I mean, a lot of the stuff that you do say is quite extreme. I mean, you're a self-proclaimed militant, which is good because you have to get things done. And your idols and the people that you frame your philosophy on, like Gary Yourofsky, he's the same way. You can't cherry pick your.
I'm pretty sure that there was a point where I remember covering a video where she said that like, I don't know, something about like how we deserve 9/11 or something. She Hassaned us in some capacity. I forget the specifics. Or some other guy was talking about how we deserve 9/11 for like eating animals or something, and she agreed with the message. I forget the specifics, but yeah, it's certainly a little bit provocative, huh?
Isms, right? So you're like, it's impressive. What I'm saying is it's very impressive that you are black and white. I'd like to see how
Me too. I'm invited to the cookout.
if there's any sort of change in the water over the next couple of years when people, maybe can just listen a little bit more, because you're not evil, right? And by the way, you don't have to respond to any of that, but I wanted to circle back to what we said. You mentioned how it's more difficult for a vegan to come out of the closet than someone who is gay or transphobic. That's like the biggest thing on the internet, in my opinion, that people, they latch onto that and hate you the most for it.
Well, they're not really listening, because I'm not
This is not true.
talking about places like Iran or whatever, these, when you're stuck in the middle of
So
some
it's just a
family
dumb
that's
person.
deeply religious. I mean, I'm talking about the vast majority of Canadians, Americans, Australians, everyone who has a gay person in their class.
No, this is such a terminally online take. It's not, even in America, it's not easy to come out. Like, okay, even in the most progressive areas, maybe, but even then, I live in New York, and there's still people, right? Like, most of New York isn't this fucking liberal foothold, okay? Most of New York is not that, okay? I live in an area where it's like difficult for friends and family to come out. Now, are they going to get beat if they come out? No, but they're going to get looked down upon in the family. It's like your best case scenario in a lot of places is like, don't ask, don't tell. She's just wrong. She's just doesn't. She's terminally online. She's a fucking entitled little piece of shit garbage that doesn't understand these struggles. Like, it's not the internet. Everybody's gay on the internet because, like, oh, I'm gay. Give me attention. Right? Some people are actually gay on the internet, of course, but but in the real world, it's not like that. There are places where it's easier, but it's still not like that. She's so fucking disconnected. Okay, this is her. This is what happens when you're fucking fake bisexual and you think you know everything about the fucking real world. She's an idiot.
Class, I mean, or on their street or in their family, nobody really cares. I mean, everyone I talk to says that is much more difficult to come out of the closet as a vegan, and here is why. Because when you come out of the closet as a vegan, you do not get a giant hug from anyone. You get, oh fuck, now what? What do we?
Yeah, and if you come out as gay, sometimes you just get punched in the face. Like, okay, nobody got punched in the face for being a vegan. They should. Frankly, you should get punched for not that you are vegan, just for telling me, because I don't care. But she's just an idiot.
You're gonna do a Thanksgiving. You're gonna ruin Thanksgiving.
I know, which I'm aware. She said she was bi. I'm telling you that she's not. Like, she's just full of shit. Okay, and she doesn't know dick about shit of what she's talking about. Thank you so much for the 2-month sub, Barbarian Babe, pee pee poo poo. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
You're gonna ruin every single event from now on. Hopefully, this is just a phase. That's what they always say. And hope. What does the kid get? You have to be such a brave person to be vegan. If you're a teenager, a kid, a young person. I mean, even an adult at the workplace,
right.
You have a boss who's vegan phobic, and vegan phobic, it means it's like racism towards vegans. It's like homophobia. It's like in the same category.
You mean the word bigotry is the word that you mean.
People freak out when I say that. But if you have lived in my shoes and listened to the people that I work with, that is what it's like.
Right. What would you say to people that were to say that being a vegan is like a choice and the other things are not a choice? Because you can't choose to be born in a specific part of the world.
Yeah, sure. Veganism is a choice, and being gay is not a choice.
Well, so, I say that you're born vegan. I say that, and that is a concept that
you're wrong, so.
That I came up with.
If that's what you believe, and then we can just move on. That's fine.
Right. I think that you're born vegan in the sense that you're born innocent. You don't want to harm anyone. And you are, in the same way that you're taught racism, you're taught speciesism, which is the first form of racism. You are taught that by your parents.
No. I'll just be real with you. Like, veganism is a product of, like, a very sheltered world. And it's cool. Ideally, we could get to a place where you don't have to eat meat to live, right? But, like, realistically speaking, vegan food is much more expensive, and it's much more nutritionally difficult to manage. It's hard. There's certain things that you need from, like, your best diet's going to be a mixture of plants and animals, of course. But you're just wrong. Obviously, my diet could be better, but you're just wrong about that. There's a biological desire to eat meat. It's like, that's why we literally have teeth that help us eat meat. Like, we're not. It's just a preposterous statement that she's making.
That animal you can step on, that little worm, that little whatever, and this one is much more valuable.
Right.
And I think it's bullshit. I mean, there's a certain extent to.
That's fine, but your perspective on the world is so dumb.
When we were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson, who talked about, well, what about the mosquitoes or the lice or some bullshit? I don't know what he was talking about. It's like, it's different if the animal or the insect is attacking you. That is where you draw the line.
Okay. So if instead of cows, we ate lions, then we would be okay. Is that what we're saying here?
If you start attacking me, I'll punch you back. If a mosquito comes and attacks me, I'll do the same.
Swat it.
Right?
I
don't want to necessarily kill the mosquito because I see the innocence of the mosquito, but I'm not a freak. I'm not a militant who's going to just, try to carry out every single mosquito in my tent. It's like, at some point, it's like, okay, you know what? I asked you to leave. I turned the light on out there. Hope you didn't leave.
Have you ever changed one of your stances online from backlash? I don't think you have. I'm going to go ahead and say that I feel like you haven't really changed your, like, fundamental ideas. The main one, like I said, is the coming out as a vegan, which you've explained that. There's no need to keep jumping back into that. But that hasn't changed from the very beginning. You still firmly believe that those are all equal things. And you've explained why you believe those things are equal. And, you know.
And that all babies are born vegan and that we
Right.
should help to maintain their vegan virginity, not to.
Virginity, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I remember having a science teacher who was vegan, and she was like, "Yeah, none of my kids are vegan, because it's really difficult to manage it. So her kids they eat meat, and then she's like, when they get older, they can make the decision because it is really difficult, especially for like a growing kid, to get the proper nutrition out of just being a vegan. So babies aren't born vegan, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's fine that you have this idea, like that's cool, you know, but like babies aren't born vegan. You're just not correct.
It's a concept I came up with. You know, you have an orifice here that you don't need to put any animal products inside. You can let your children decide when they're older. You can give them healthy vegan foods because you can.
Yeah, let your children decide when they're older after they eat an actual that won't kill them.
Be vegan from the time that you're a baby all the way till the time that you're old. You just got to be a little bit smart about it.
Right.
Just eat enough calories, enough variety. Make sure you get lentils and some protein from plants, and you're fine.
Yeah, and then also other supplements that you have to take. You have to take like supplements for different things as well. But yeah, it's not good for kids.
You say that to be able to, you think all gay people, everyone who falls under that acronym should be vegan as well.
Well, everyone should be, but
Just in general.
especially people who.
Especially those people.
Hold on.
Damn, another form of oppression for gay people. You have to be vegan too. Fuck. How are gay dudes gonna suck dick if they can't eat meat?
Especially people who claim to be victims.
Okay.
Right? They're victimized. I'm oppressed, they say. You're oppressed. I mean, this is what happened at the time.
I'm actually gonna go to a slaughterhouse and kill animals now, just because this video is making me angry.
Of George Floyd's death. A dark-skinned man was.
Oh yeah, she made a very insensitive video about George Floyd's death. I reacted to it, and mine got taken down for like fucking racism. I got a community guideline strike for it. Somehow they left hers up, but incredible world we live in, huh, guys?
Carrying around the head, an actual head of a pig, all right, and saying, we hate the pig, implying that's the cops, right?
I see.
But an actual dead. And I was just like, this is unacceptable. It doesn't matter that the fact that the guy is black doesn't mean he's off limits now. And my community said, no.
What does that mean? What word does that mean?
Don't start with all lives matter now. No. And they shoved me deep into a corner and I got blocked tremendously.
That makes sense.
Right?
Because you're comparing humans to animals. I think that's probably why people are getting compared to animals by racists, and then you're doing the same thing. So
Not to me.
Right.
Not to me.
Because you're hard.
No, because I'm not prejudiced. That's why. Do you understand that?
I feel like that falls in line with the militancy.
All I was saying is that this is not okay, and there's an organization called Anonymous for the Voiceless who had a guy, I think I mentioned to you, Carnism Debunked, his name is George Martin, and he was working for them at the time, and he also said, hey, whoa, you know, we are against what happened to George. It was terrible. Any kind of brutality is wrong. And
you ready for the butt?
any kind of racism is wrong. But you don't get
there it is.
to play that card, to walk around and parade around with a dead corpse on your head and act like that's okay.
They're just gonna throw away the pig head anyway. It's probably came from someone else's thing, so you know, whatever.
A pig is not
Sorry,
a cop.
piggy.
Right. I would agree. But that's what I'm saying with the whole black and white thing is you don't really choose your battles. Outside, well, online you don't, at least.
And yet, again, to respond to this black and white thing, it pissed me off what they were doing, but I'm not stupid in that sense, and I'm not bright in all kinds of areas. I'm not good at math. It's always an average student.
fair, yeah.
I was an average student, you know? But if enough people are telling me, don't talk about that now, I did go back a bit and reflect, and I thought, okay, you know, maybe I'm missing something, and I think I held back more than I would have liked to.
Right. Okay. More than you would have liked
Because the issue is we want human rights and we want animal rights, and there's no reason for these groups to argue. So a lot of
Well, financially, it's almost impossible for poor people to get access to vegan food for like how expensive it is. So if you really care, like, you'd probably have to deal with that problem first.
See, what happened is
They kill all poor people, and then boom, we could be vegan then.
here's how wimpy the vegans are, okay? When that happened, it was everybody just dropped everything and said, we support all of us animal rights activists, we support Black Lives Matter. We support it, and they just said it over and over and over again. But
But they shouldn't have supported it. They should have waited for them to support the other people first. Okay.
you know why they did that?
The
Yes,
vegans
they support
first.
it, but also they were hoping, you know what, they're going to see how we support them, and they're going to see then that they should be supporting us.
Wow.
And that's
beautiful
not what
story.
happened.
Right.
And
I understand what you're saying.
and I could see that.
Right.
Because there's so much hypocrisy.
Yes, black people are so hypocritical, guys. What a shame.
Yeah, because there can be many different truths, right? Like something that isn't true. Something that is true is not necessarily factual. It has some basis in what's right. That's what
What?
truth is. And then factual things are like based upon like statistics and
Okay.
they're infallible. But truth,
Like gravity, fact.
exactly, yeah. Gravity is a fact.
Let me follow you, though. I'm not sure I follow you about truth.
Okay.
How is truth not a fact? Give me an example.
It can be a fact.
Yeah.
Truth. Your truth is different from my truth.
Ah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, well, Vegan Teacher hasn't said a singular true thing here, okay? I get it. You don't want to, like, hurt animals and shit. That's fine. But she's telling people that it's easier to come out as a vegan. Like, that is her truth, and it is a fucking delusional truth. But, say whatever you want. Freedom of speech, all right?
You think all truth is...
Well, it's either a fact or it isn't. It's not my truth and your truth.
What are you
No,
saying?
I don't believe in that. My truth and your truth.
Well, your truths aren't facts. You're a fucking moron.
There's
don't have
one
to believe
truth.
it.
There's one truth, which is the fact. There's your opinion. There's your perception of something.
Truths are opinions. Because, like, people who follow a specific religion, they follow their truth. And then there's multiple religions that all... Just as an example.
Okay, well, we just are, semantics over the word truth.
Right.
I mean, I think of it as, I don't see it
That's
as
what I said. Yeah.
I-
You believe it's the same.
to me, truth is fact, and opinion is something that comes from our experiences.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Well, I
Yeah,
ain't
that's
calling you a
completely
truther.
valid and fair. And if anything, a bit more respectable. Too,
Personally,
because
I don't think it's valid
another,
or fair.
Like along the lines of the thing that I was saying, where you are hard and fast all the time. It's hard not to respect it because it's like no one
I'm fucking hard and slow all the time, let me tell you, bro. But I'm certainly slow.
else will do that. No one else, like you're saying, you have to be brave to be able to do it. You do have to be brave because you have to be willing to lose shit.
You
for
have to
being
be very
misunderstood.
brave. You have to be extremely brave.
Yeah.
And
Very brave.
I'm scared shitless a lot of the time.
I can imagine.
I'm scared to come to this interview. I was scared to come here. I could break down and cry at any second because inside it's hard.
Part of me just doesn't believe that because the whole N-word thing, like she says some really provocative shit. Like I just don't know if I believe she's actually always scared. I don't know because she says like intentionally provocative things. She's not just promoting veganism. She's promoting like divisiveness to try to get people to be vegan.
But someone's got to do it. I got to get my shit together. I have to be tough. Because what happens when I cry? What happens when people are like, well, who's the real you? Well, it's all the real me. I am tough.
I do agree with that, too.
But I am also human. And if you're mean to me,
I'm not human.
and you're mean to the cause that I care so deep, and you're making it so much worse for the animals, that's not okay.
We saw my ex-girlfriend in public at Pad Thai. What would you have done if I would have started crying?
Why would you cry?
I'm just a sensitive little boy.
Why? Because she walked into a building? Fuck. What? Doesn't make sense.
Would you call me a pussy?
Give me a better example.
It was just a random.
Yeah, it's not a good one, Caleb. Because that's just somebody walking in. Why would you cry? There's no reason to cry.
What if I had a deep fear?
Let's say you think if she gave you the middle finger, or give me an example that I can hold
why would
on
the
to. I don't know.
Well, it's more of a joke.
Okay.
What if I walked outside and my deep fear of the
Let me
sun-
know when we're switching from serious to joke, because I don't always know.
That's the whole point of this. That's just the whole like brand of my channel. Is it's all the same. It's good. It's good.
I'm sorry, I'm probably screwing it up because I've been so super
you've
serious.
been doing
I've
a
been
good
too
job.
serious.
No, you're not.
You want me to lighten up? What do you want me to do? Put some music. Let's dance. By the way,
Put some music. Let's dance.
when I came here, and knew that I was going to be surrounded by young people, I was like, oh, thank God, bunch of energy. And then I
called
walked
us
in.
potheads.
I said you're all so
Damn.
schmurnered. Like,
I thought we were stoners. I've never
Schmurd.
smoked
I've
pot in my
never,
life.
you know what? I never ever thought that. Just so you know, I never
Okay.
thought that
Bobby
you were. I never thought
Schmurd.
that you were smoking
Okay,
pot.
that's
I just said I feel like I'm in a room
Right.
of people who are just kind of like
And we were just
so
hanging
silent.
out. We were scared. We thought you were gonna just start fucking shoving carrots in our butts or something. Not actually, but it was very surprising and pleasantly surprising too. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of my videos, comparatively speaking, I haven't gone hard to the route that a lot of people have. You have to admit. And I've also denounced veganism.
You know what? I didn't cry on too many videos, and I cried on one of yours. So no. And you know why? Because if
Damn.
you remember, you and I talked on the phone at one point. Do you remember that?
I did.
And I thought, he seems like he's okay. But then something happened and you did something shitty. I don't know what. I don't know the order in which things happened. But
Damn.
I think that's part of it, is that I saw you as somebody deeper, more intelligent somehow than the others. Like, not like just some gamer like Sniper Wolf. Like,
Right.
the fact when you told me you're homeschooled, I'm like,
She's really throwing shade at Sniper Wolf, but can you blame her?
okay. And I think that's what hurt the most, is that I didn't manage to win you over to at least be neutral about it. And just when you posted a video yesterday, I just scrolling through, I didn't even see what it was. And they're just like going on about meat again. It's like, I can't fucking win. I can't make any progress.
Right.
This is like banging my head against the wall.
There is a disconnect. There's a huge disconnect. And that's just the nature, I feel like, of how all this stuff works. Is like you said 100 clicks, right? I mean, you can't just expect to change every single amount of programming someone has in the first moment you meet them, even a year, 2 years, whatever. I'm 26 years old. I have vastly different beliefs now than I did when I was 8 and then 18.
And this is the
Not
thing,
me.
even now.
I haven't changed at all. Okay, I'm a real man. Real men don't apologize or change.
Oh, Caleb, like, I don't know what you're going to do with this video, if you're going to twist it around and make me seem mean or whatever you're going to do, right?
I probably will.
I don't, probably.
I won't, by the way. I promise to you, I will not. I will not. I might give you a really big head at one point. At some point.
No, but
that mean?
this thing, don't give me head.
Whoa!
Wow. I would watch that. I would check that out. That could be interesting. They're both consenting adults.
What was I gonna say? Oh no, what we were talking about? No. So my hope, okay, is that something will happen with you. Okay, first of all, you talk a lot about health,
Why the fuck is she sitting like that?
and you have enough money to buy whatever you want.
That's
so
true.
it's not like you need to, I don't know, because people often use that as an excuse, which is, by the way, total bullshit. You do not need a lot of money to be vegan, because oats don't cost much, neither do beans or chickpeas or lentils. None of this stuff costs a lot of money.
Sure.
Okay, so
I do agree. From the
Supplemental vitamins do cost money though.
So I hope, I just have to say, I really, really hope Caleb, that
And these things are generally more expensive per calorie than like actual meat, right? It's dollar per calorie. Okay. So well, beans don't cost that much, or lentils, yeah, but like you have to understand that that's not like overall per thing. It's cheaper to get other food. Okay, so
because your staff around you, you said I don't know, I don't really know what you say is true or not. Okay, but I'll take it for face value. You said that you've been eating vegan as you go along. They've had a bit of exposure to me. They've had a bit of, vegan
oh, he got her rizzed up after the head comment. So now she's got to sit down and like push her nanners together. She's got to push her nanners together.
And stuff, and they've heard the word vegan over and over. And I'm hoping that we're giving kind of everyone some clicks.
Yeah.
And that I'm just really hoping that you, as the leader of these people who are around you all the
Your
time,
Majesty.
Your Majesty.
You caught me sleeping with your dad? True. Your dad's fucking ugly and Italian, so I would never do that. And a dinosaur.
Thank you.
Because I did that for you. Okay, I want a clickbait too. Okay, look at the camera and say, "Everyone, be vegan from now on."
Everyone be vegan from now on.
Good.
Oh,
now say, "Go fucking
he broke eye contact.
vegan."
Go fucking vegan.
Oh, that sounded like "go fucking vegan." Well, that's okay too.
Go fucking vegan.
Bro, dry bags of beans are not enough nutrients, okay, to be able to sustain yourself. What is enough nutrients is the McDonald's deals, okay? McDonald's 2 for $5 deals. That's what it is. There's also people who don't have access to supermarkets, right? I'm not one of them. I could be vegan if I really wanted to. I don't want to, all right? But just letting you know, okay?
They're attractive. They smell like bananas. Yeah, I have no problem. I genuinely hold no ill will with against anyone who isn't doing something that's causing more suffering, like genuinely. And there's no way to, you can't say that vegans are like bad, right?
You're removing those animals' point of their existence, though. Without eating them, what are they alive for? You know what I mean? They're gonna get depressed because they don't have anything to live for anymore.
Veganism as a whole is not bad.
Right. The real vegans who are there for ethical reasons and not, for health, because that's not vegan. Of course, yeah. It's not about the environment. These things are benefits, right? But what I was going to say, just as an idea, is what I would love from you is to think about doing something, a simple thing that's measurable, and that is you have a house and you have restaurants everywhere, right? Please consider that when you, from now on, bring items into the house, try to see if you can try and make it a vegan house. That is to say, don't buy anything made out of leather. And if you really feel the need to eat a corpse, say, guys, take it outside.
Right.
Just think about it. Is it
Take it outside. Okay, so if somebody else is like, I want to eat some meat, he's like, you know what? Eat outside. Like a fucking animal. Okay.
possible? I mean, can you just not, you have a
How
massive
did vegans add to global warming?
fridge. You already have oat milk in there.
I do.
Right?
I don't eat dairy.
You don't eat dairy.
Right. Already, just because it makes me poop.
Okay, well,
True.
that's not the right reason, because your colleagues might say, but we want sun cheese.
I have a strong lack of empathy. That's another problem that I have.
Okay.
Compassion. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Anyway, so that
Right.
all to say,
I see
so,
what you're
so if
saying.
it's not dairy, what about eggs?
I hate eggs.
Okay, so this is already something you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not the right reason, because if you liked eggs, it still goes. You understand what I'm
At
saying,
the end of the day,
right?
I'm still a piece of shit.
So
I feel like what's wrong with eggs though? Like I would be a vegetarian over a vegan. I'm gonna lose here. Wait, I'm okay.
So what's left is really meat.
Right.
Honey. Anybody?
I
can
like
do-
honey.
You don't need honey, right? You don't need it.
I don't need it. No.
Right.
No.
Okay. So the only thing is really the corpses, right?
The corpses. The
Right.
dead bodies.
So if you had no corpses in here, what would that look like? What? There's no
What up?
chicken. There's no hamburger. Look, your freaking
hamburger?
restaurants everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Put a big sign on your door.
No hamburger? Come on, man.
Vegan home.
I see what you're saying. You're just saying
How about dog burger?
to have my house just specifically be vegan, and if we can't do that, if we can't be vegan all the time, we could go out to eat whatever.
It's sort of a reminder. It's like
I mean, what she's saying kind of makes sense though. It's like it's the same thing as having your where you do your homework being like a homework space, and don't like if you have like at my desk it's like a workspace. If I only did work at this space, or if you sat at the kitchen table to do your homework after school's over, and you just did your homework at that table or whatever table, and this way you don't associate with other things and your brain is like in the mood for it. Or if you don't put a TV in your bedroom, so when you lay down, like you have to go to sleep. That's what she's kind of talking about, like programming you to not eat in the house, and like as a small step. This is the most reasonable I've ever seen her. Like she never says any of these things ever. She never has reasonable points to make. That's why people think that she's a suspicious character from Amgus.
giving an example to the world that you're trying.
Yeah.
You know?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. That is very reasonable, and I feel like a lot of people would agree that is also very reasonable. That seems like a completely reasonable thing to me, to just try, right? Just
That's
try.
all. Just keep trying.
Yeah. Inspiration.
when they need their it's so stupid. Hold on. When they need their stupid vegan products, vegetables, avocados transported on a plane or a big diesel truck. True. Also, almonds use a lot of water. Not good for the environment, guys. That's why I guess she said oat milk before. But, you know.
Inspiration, not desperation, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I came up with that, by the way. I tell people that a lot, especially my parents. I tell them they need to act out of inspiration, desperation, because they're getting old. And then eventually they're going to regret making dumb decisions like drinking a beer or Dr. Pepper.
Never.
But wait, what do you mean? Let me make sure I understand that. So what's the desperation in that example you gave?
Let's say if you're an alcoholic, not specifically my parents, they're not alcoholics, but if you're an alcoholic, eventually your liver will fail.
Right.
You then have to stop drinking alcohol out of desperation.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it's better to live an ideal life through inspiration as opposed to desperation. To make the decision yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways you and I are alike that way, that we both, we were talking about suffering, we were talking about Wim Hof.
I love suffering.
True, me too.
As am I. So am I. Well, no, I have a motto. When in doubt, check it out.
Yeah, you've said that. Yeah.
Right? So like if you're...
Again, hard not to respect it.
You know, when I'm really nervous and I don't want to do it, it's like, well, try.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, 80% of life is just showing up, right?
That's true.
I used to tell it to my students too. Like, you know, like if you just don't want to come to school, just at least put your ass in the chair, and even if you're not paying attention fully, you're not doing your homework, you're at least there and you'll get something. Same as with a job, you know, like especially in college, typically people stop going to classes, and next thing you know, you're just out of it. You just keep showing up.
You just gotta keep going, and then it'll like if you make the bare minimum, if you put in the bare minimum effort, you're still putting in effort, and it adds up.
Yeah.
So
Sure, I guess.
One of the things I did when I went back to school to become a teacher, because I was a nurse first, and then I did a crossover to go to university.
Right.
So I made a point of when I took the subway to make sure that I would always take the stairs up. There was about 113 steps or whatever.
good
No matter
idea.
what I said, with my knapsack was really heavy.
My doctor told me that to do stuff like that. You know, make the healthier choice. Park in the back of the parking lot, stuff like that, you know.
I just thought, I'm just going to take the stairs. It's going to be for 4 years, I'm going to do that. And I never broke it once, even when I had a high fever and everything. And that was just sort of like, you know, because it's good to suffer a bit. Because when you do that, you teach yourself that you can do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad to suffer, go through a little bit of life stress, as long as you could overcome it, sure.
yeah, I think I could probably do something like that, but eventually I feel like one day I would just say, I don't feel like it.
Right. And then you pick another thing.
I don't feel like it. Yeah.
I mean, it's fair enough. Like, you know, it doesn't mean you have to do it forever if you don't want to. But I
see the value.
I made the commitment to myself because I saw the value, and it was measurable and easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these New Year's resolutions. I'm going to run 5K a day.
I
Well,
love New Year's.
that's just like, what was your resolution? To have no resolution.
No. My resolution was to work out more, and I've done every year consistently. I work out more.
What's more?
I work out in different ways and have a more complicated split.
My New Year's resolution was to not look at deep fakes of my friends. So far, you know, I'm doing well because they got rid of the website that I used they got rid of the website I used. That's a joke. Okay.
With my workout, so just doing more varied things instead of just having a routine necessarily. So instead of writing anything down, I just do whatever I feel like my body would want to do,
Right.
based on how I feel.
Do you swim laps in your pool?
In the summer, yes.
Do you ever run outside?
I'm not a huge runner. It hurts my back for some reason. I like to walk though. I walk a lot.
Like speed walk type
Yes,
thing? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
I
I
love
like that
walking.
too. I also can't walk. I run. I mean, I have one leg longer than the other, and I
tripod.
also have
Interesting. So what does she do? Dance?
problems with my back.
You mentioned you wanted to cover this.
I think you said tripod. Talking about his dick. What the fuck?
It's about transphobia.
Well,
my
did
God.
we
Hey, you're
talked
on,
about it a bit.
break? What's up?
So what I feel,
Okay, well, let me preface it by saying people say that you are transphobic, and the reason specifically that we have written down is you made comments about how kids shouldn't be encouraged to transition or be put on hormones when they're in their youth.
I don't even call it transphobic. I feel like the conversation around trans kids is like really tough and difficult. You know, for one thing, I don't know how I feel at all about hormones. I don't know. Listen, here's the way I look at it. I don't think anybody should transition until 18, but personalizing it, I could understand why people do start socially transitioning early. All right, let's say if I think about like, what if I had a trans kid, which I wouldn't want because that's like such a struggle in life. I would love my kid, but it would be so difficult. Not even for me, for the kid, but also for me a little bit too. You know? Like, let's say you have a kid, and they're like 4, and they're a biological boy. It's like, Daddy, I'm a girl. I'm like, no, you're not. They're 4. It's not going to matter. 5 years old, they say the same thing. I just keep responding, no, you're not. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, same thing. All of a sudden, they start going through puberty, and they start to like be really upset and be like really distressed with themselves. They just start getting like really, it's making them sad, right? And then it's like, fuck, now I got to go to a therapist and figure out what's going on. And if my kid's saying they're a girl and the therapist, and I would go to multiple just to get like a second and third opinion. And they're all saying like, yeah, I think your kid has gender dysphoria. We need to do this. What am I supposed to do? Just let my kid be miserable and suffer? You know, a lot of people say like, oh, the kid might take their own life. Maybe, but like more than that, I just don't want my kid to be like so profoundly unhappy. So it's just a tough conversation.
Right,
you know?
it shouldn't be encouraged to do so.
Tough
Right.
conversation.
Yeah, you didn't specifically say that it should.
I listen to you on my way to and from work every day. Your humor is top tier. LMAO cracks you up. Hey, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Much appreciated.
Not be allowed, compelled by law. Like it shouldn't be illegal necessarily. But your specific words were that it should not be encouraged.
Right.
And you were called transphobic as a result of that.
I wouldn't
Right.
I wouldn't
So,
encourage it either.
What I think is that the whole thing is still relatively new. There's a lot of surgeries happening on younger people, and
Okay, that's just not true though, right? We understand that we have to understand that like there's really no surgeries happening on anybody, probably under 16. I think some places are 17. Now that might be a little low to you, but like let's just be explicitly clear. Like we're not really putting kids on hormones, hormone blockers, sure, which I guess you could argue, but like there's really no kids getting surgeries. We have to chill the fuck out with that. All right, you're not having like 14-year-olds getting like double mastectomies, right?
I think that we are kind of evolving and trying to find our way as a society.
That's fair.
And I think that it's a complex thing.
Sure,
However,
fair enough.
what I said, and many times in my lives over on TikTok and things like that, and when people say, how do you feel about the trans community? My answer is always, well, who in there? Which person?
Right. Individuals.
I don't believe in all this,
Okay.
these groups. So
Wait, what? Wait, that's transphobic. Okay. You can be very apprehensive about kids, but she doesn't believe in all these groups. You don't believe in trans people? That's different. It's one thing to say, like, I'm very apprehensive about kids transitioning. I respect that. And it's okay. You don't have to think that trans people are valid. I mean, what you do, I don't give a fuck. You should, but it's whatever. But for you to sit here and say, I just don't believe in all that, like, like that's obviously transphobic, right? We understand this.
just because you're trans doesn't mean you're going to be a good person or a bad person.
Sure.
But what I do not like is
Based vegan teacher,
excess navel gazing. We talked about that. People
Right.
who care about their looks too much. I mean, there's an extent where you have to, if you're something about your looks is just taking away from your message, right? Like I have a cold sore, right? And I covered it up a little bit because I don't want it to take away from my message. I want people to listen to me, pay attention.
By the way,
and
with the lighting, you
Is she saying she doesn't respect trans people that like transition because they care about their looks too much? What the fuck is she saying? I'm a little bit confused here.
cannot see it.
okay, anyway,
I promise.
so whatever. It's the point is that when it comes to trans people, I feel the same way as I do about women who wear a ton of makeup and have their nails this way, and they can't leave the house without these shoes that are high heeled. I just think
Oh, okay. So she just doesn't really know. She's just an old woman who doesn't really get what the fuck she's talking about. Okay.
it's ridiculous because you're not being a real person. You're not ready to dance at any moment. You're not ready to save someone's life. Like you have to wear proper shoes. What if there's an emergency and you have a split second?
So navel gazing is self-indulgent or excessive contemplation of oneself in a single issue at the expense of a wider view. I mean, that's literally her with veganism. Bro, she like it's fine. Listen, if you're not trans affirming, I would expect that from a 58-year-old, but like you can't pretend to be LGBTQ affirming at this point. I mean, come on. But okay.
To grab a kid who's about to get
No, trans kids aren't cold sores. What she's saying is that trans people in general, she thinks that they focus too much on their looks. Okay, she's basically calling them very shallow. Like she's being a fucking moron and doesn't understand like gender dysphoria or anything. So that's what she's saying.
hit by a car or something. Like I'm not saying you should not ever dress up, okay? But I'm just saying as a normal course of events, I believe that people should be comfortable and men typically have their shit together that way. You might
comfortable.
Well, you're just normal.
Going commando, etc.
Have you ever been on a nude beach?
No, but I'd gladly go.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of nude beaches in Texas. People like covering up their wieners up in here. Sometimes me and my roommates, we bask nude in the sun.
Some of them like to chop off their wieners too.
Yeah. Now that you have a new employee,
We don't do that
Cassie,
anymore.
I guess you're not going to do that anymore.
She's a girl. She's not allowed.
Okay, well, why not? Because that's what a nude beach is, right? Just everybody naked.
Well, that's because it's my. I'm the boss.
That's right.
And if I said
That's the right answer.
yes,
Thank you.
exactly. I feel like that would be incredibly inappropriate, and I would never want to do that. But
Right.
if it was my cousin, I would say, pull your cock out. We're going sunbathing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
forget the sunscreen.
Gotta put the sunscreen on your shaft. Unless you got a turtle wiener like me, then self-defense, no problem.
Right.
But yeah, okay. That is a valid response to that.
I have
People
been,
call
by the
you-
way.
What, nude to nude beaches?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I've been to two. Well, one, there's a camp that has.
Me too. I never went onto it. I just looked from afar with binoculars like this, and I go, "Whoa! Look at that old grandpa wiener." The most dramatic thing you'll ever see in your life are old men inside of a male locker room. Okay, that is it's just so terrifying. Okay,
It's actually a religious camp. It's Unitarian. It's a religion that is like not a religion.
Baha'i?
No.
Nudist?
Baha'is are against the gays.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought it was all the religions combined.
Yeah, but they're not really.
Okay.
Because when I was shopping for a religion, see, when my kids were born, I went religious shopping, right?
Shopping for what? Okay.
We're not a church. We need a religion for these kids.
That's awesome.
And I just went to a bunch of them, like, no. Oh, Baha'i, all the religions combined. That sounds nice. And then I asked them point blank, I said, what do you do if there's a kid who is gay here? They said, we try to encourage them not to be. And
We
I said,
beat the shit out of them. We beat them up. We kick your. Wait, what did he say?
you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't see,
man.
and this is what people don't understand. How can there's no way that I'm transphobic because I know that's fucking wrong. How can you tell somebody?
What are you talking about? There's a difference between gay and trans people. You're saying we shouldn't encourage kids to be trans, which we shouldn't. We shouldn't encourage kids to be anything. But if like your kid is gay or whatever, like you got to deal with whatever's going on. You being gay affirming isn't the same as trans affirming. When that's fine, but also considering the fact that considering that you think it's just as brave to come out as vegan as gay. Like you just don't understand like LGBTQ issues. All right, you're like, oh, I'm bisexual. It doesn't matter. You have clearly never actually struggled with your identity in any true capacity. Okay, I know plenty of gay people who are like too afraid to come out to their family. They don't think that they're going to kill them, but like, and I live in New York. Okay, we're not living. It's not like we're doing better, but we're not there yet. All right.
Somebody who to love or who not to love. You want to hold hands with somebody? Do it.
Wow.
Right? So that's why I said, are you guys serious, really? They said, yeah, like we can try to, talk them out of it and explain. And I'm like, you can't. For me, I kind of was lucky because I could have sort of a choice, if you know what I mean.
Right, because you're married to a man, like you mentioned.
Right, but it could have been just as easily married to a woman. I just didn't find the woman, And it turns out that it's a lot easier because I kind of always wanted to have at least one kid, to see what it's like kind of thing. But yeah, the nude beaches.
Just to see what it's like? What is her worldview? She said before she likes to photograph her kids because they're fascinating to her. And now she's saying that she wanted to have a kid just to see what it's like.
How long ago?
Well, so the religion is called Unitarian Universalist. And they are, pro-gay rights. They were one of the first religions to marry gay people, which I helped to fight for, by the way, in Canada. I was the one writing letters saying, like, these gay people should be allowed to marry. Like,
we actually found some of your letters.
Did you?
From long, long, long ago, yeah. There's like a footprint of your activism online.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool, too.
I mean, you
did some digging.
Yeah,
did you see my anti-circumcision ones as well?
We did. We saw everything, yeah.
Hey, listen, that is based. Frankly, there's really no reason to cut off a boy's penis skin. Listen, cutting off the foreskin of young boys is female oppression onto men. All right? All it says is, I want it to be less sensitive for my female satisfaction. It is an oppressive aspect of a matriarchy in society. Stop circumcising your kids. Boom.
It's actually, you have a history. That's what I'm saying with the whole black and white thing. It's not meant as disrespect. It is impressive how you fight for this stuff and you're brave and you just don't give up, which is cool. Because a lot of people are just total grifters, which that's another thing I wanted to ask. A lot of people think you're a grifter, but because you attack like Call Me Chris and Gordon Ramsay and stuff like that.
This is strategic.
That's exactly.
Okay, and it's strategic because I watched a video by Direct Action Everywhere, which talked about the science of social change. And what they said is you have to be a bit of a shit disturber. Okay. And this is, you have to kind of like wave your arms around so that you get attention to the cause. Because when
so then like she's admitting here that she's performative, right? We understand that. Like she's admitting that she's just provocative just to get her message out there and doesn't necessarily agree with her provocative nature.
I used to be on Facebook. I was in like an echo chamber.
Right.
And you need to get out of the echo chamber because we don't have time.
Right.
We don't have time to just talk about.
But like you have to understand that if she's intentionally, like what she just literally admitted here, acting like a fucking fool sometimes, then she needs to understand that like that's why people don't like her. And so when she's like, "Oh, people are so mean to me," yeah, it's your fault. You're telling people to be mean to you. What are you talking about?
And pat each other on the back for holding a little sign outside of one place for.
It's from biblical times to make men less horny, but it's claimed to be more sanitary. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. Maybe it's a good thing. Men do need to be less horny. It takes away from your life when you're always fucking. I mean, I wonder how horny I would have been if I didn't get a circumcised. 'Cause holy fuck, Jesus Christ! It's just too much,
For 5 minutes, like no. And this is the problem, I was with all the people in Montreal holding signs out again from Canada Goose and everything like that. But like, okay, guys, the famous McDonald's song.
Yeah.
15 seconds. Before doing that,
Okay.
I was going to my vegan community in Montreal saying, guys, we need to do this. We need music. We need fun and we need music. I want to go and do this song. I'm going to compose a quick song. We're going to all sing it. It's going to be a great video. Everyone's going to see it. And I'm like, empty shy. Oh, that sounds kind of weird. I'm like, not one of you will come? Fuck you. I'm doing it myself.
Yeah. Another thing too is that like circumcisions are necessary because you could put things in the foreskin. Okay, women get a purse. We're not allowed to have purses. Now we do have pockets, and women's clothing usually doesn't have pockets. But imagine you need a chapstick, and you could just go loop, put it right in there. Additionally, it can be a really nice, comfortable place for your spouse to hide inside of. Maybe they could use it as a hoodie. But you get rid of our hoodie, so they can't do that. It's just tragic. Honestly, it's just tragic.
Say fuck you to everyone.
That was really disappointing. Right? Because you know what they want to do, these vegan activists? They want to be a big fish in a little pond. They're happy. Like there's many people that I know who are surrounded by, oh my God, this person's the greatest activist
Echo
ever.
chambers.
They're like so good.
You have no echo
It's like, but get out. At a very young age, when they're teaching you to be polite and nice and everything, they should teach critical thinking skills. Like that's the.
What are you talking about? Here in the UK, it's not the norm to have it done. Oh, find it strange how Americans talk like it's unusual to have one. Listen, bro. It's not unusual, but it's just part of the patriarchy. It's just part of women trying to oppress men. Okay, that's all it is.
Only thing they should be teaching, honestly, because when you have critical thinking skills, you know how to learn. You know how to find information on your own.
Yeah,
that's.
And like I said, I've said so many hundreds of times that I was homeschooled. One of the things that I learned at a very young age is that my dad, who is a man who grew up in Virginia in the woods and from the 70s, he was born in 1973, very just like born with a bow, gun in his hands, etc. Right, but all at the same time when I grew up with him and I was a farrier with him, and he would go to his jobs. There was a lot of people who were extremely liberal, right? Like extremely liberal. My dad's fairly apolitical, but he would tell me, he'd be like, she's a liberal. Don't say anything to be disrespectful. You have to be respectful. They believe different things than we do. All right? They do not want George W. Bush to be the next president of the United States of America.
Well, he was a pretty rough president. He kind of fucked us economically, but okay.
And I do. And I want Osama bin Laden to get fucked. But this woman, she's a liberal. She does not believe that. We have to be respectful. We have to listen to what she has to say. And we need to get her work done. That's how I learned, right?
Okay.
So I think, and that was when I was, 5 to 13. Just consistently, my dad's never been disrespectful to anyone, regardless of who they are, what they believe, no matter what. And I feel like that's something that people need to learn, for sure. It's just how to be able to relate.
You had a boyfriend that had to get circumcised at 15 because he kept getting infections. He had to do it while he was awake. Listen, if you're 15 and you're getting infections in your foreskin, your boyfriend didn't know how to clean his penis. That's the fucking problem, okay? That's the greater issue, is your boyfriend needs to clean his ween. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's just nuts.
Some other level, whether it's just you're both alive and breathing.
How would your father, if he was an animal defender like me, how would he get as much notoriety by being respectful?
I don't see. That's the thing about my dad.
And when I say notoriety, I mean like just how do you get the message out without? I don't want to be mean.
He just wouldn't. He would live.
That's right.
Transcendentalist. He would detach himself from society. I'm sure he would.
This is vegan teachers arguing for sensationalization. How fucking crazy.
Have his own little thing, and he wouldn't want to be bothered, which is what he does now.
Right. And see, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
Your dad's
I know you
gay.
love your dad. But there's two kinds of people in the world.
Okay.
What?
There's polite people, and there's good people.
Right.
Your dad is polite.
Right.
What? Being polite is a good thing. She's listening to her talk. She is actually the fuck. She's literally has cope brain. She's convinced herself that being a disrespectful piece of shit is like the right thing to do.
But he's not good.
Okay.
Because he's not doing
Not
enough
good.
to help society. It's not good enough.
Why? Existing in society and like paying your taxes and doing shit like that. That is quite a bit to function in society. Okay. When I earn tax dollars to give to society so that they can do whatever they want with my tax dollars, like give it to Ukraine instead of help our mug-blooded Americans. No, I'm just kidding. I support Ukraine. Like, it's enough. You don't have to be a provocateur. If you're not a provocateur and fucking crazy, then you're not doing enough. It's like, relax.
To just not kill a cat yourself.
I'm gonna kill cats myself.
You have to prevent other people from doing it.
It's an example of
You have
truth.
to be out there.
You have your own
killing
individual
cats.
truth. He has his own individual truth.
I'm killing cats.
I'm not sure what you're saying. I think what you're saying is that he has his own experiences, because we were talking about the truth.
No, well, you believe that he's
right?
not good, he's polite. He believes that he's a good person.
I think
he doesn't.
he probably is a good person.
Actively harm people, that's
Right,
what
but
he's
you know what
worried
your dad would have done during World War II? He would have let the Nazis take away the Germans, and he would just say, "Well, I'm not doing anything myself."
Well, no, he wouldn't. He's patriotic. He's not.
So let's just be real. I want to just like debunk the delusion that what's her face is engaging in. The reality is if your mother or father or whatever was in the Holocaust or whatever, they would be killing Jews. It's unfortunate, but based on societal conditioning, you're not going to be the one brave person, okay? If you think that you're going to be the one brave person to actually do something and not let this happen, you are living in a fucking delusion. You might as well be playing you're the person that thinks that you'd be Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. All right, children's books like Divergence were created for you to make you feel a certain type of way, but that is not how you would actually act, okay? Whatsoever. Based on like all the conditioning in that area, you would possibly even think that like it's a good thing that they're putting Jewish people in fucking camps. It wasn't. But for her to like pretend that you're not brave, she's not doing anything that actually causes violence to herself. If she's admitting to being an actual provocateur to get her message out, she's not afraid of anything. She's just lying. Okay, she's full of fucking shit, and she's sitting here. She's morally chastising people for doing something that's not brave. It's just annoying, right? Like that's her activism is annoying. Oh, I'm vegan. Okay, cool. You should be vegan too. Yelling, screaming. It's like, okay, you do you, but stop pretending that you're fucking brave because you're not brave. Okay.
Not just
she thinks that she's a main character.
You said the.
You know, it's too personal. I regret using your dad as an example because it's just it's.
Well, it's not too personal. It's just.
It's not. I want to use someone like that. Okay, let's pretend I'm not talking about your dad because. Mr. Oompa, I'm sure you're a really nice guy, okay? I really do think you are. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to make the point that we have to be brave and we can't just care about our own little mini circle.
Some people do, though. And they believe that the people around them that they love are the most important thing in life, that's what I believe, personally. That's my truth as well.
Okay, so who's your best friend?
Me.
Clint.
Myself.
Okay, so if your cousin wasn't your cousin and he was in the other tribe over there, you'd say, fuck him. Who cares?
I wouldn't say fuck him,
well,
and I wouldn't
if he was
well, yeah, of course, because he didn't grow up as your family. There's a specific family bond. So, great point.
Trouble. It would be like, okay, well, let him fight over there because we're just our tribe here.
Sure.
You don't see how wrong that is?
No, you're doing the black and white thing, though, because there's nuance and context.
Well, what is that? That's what I'm saying. With your dad, if you're saying, or again, we said, I said I wasn't going to try and mention him, but this is the problem with the world, is people don't give a shit beyond themselves. And we have.
But the problem is that the dad wants to be respectful and doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. And so that's why when he has somebody with a difference in opinion, he respects that person and doesn't say anything to be provocative. If anything, his dad would be the only person. His dad raised a kid that took that vegan teacher, a social pariah, and put them on their channel to advocate. Like his dad's perspective on the world has led to a person that will platform this insane fucking person because he wants to be generally respectful of their worldview. So when she says it's a bad thing, no, it's not. He raised a kid that's giving you a platform based on like the idea that like everybody has a difference of opinion, and I can respect that. So what she's saying isn't even there's nothing in any. There's no level of intelligence to what she's saying. She's no idea what the fuck she's talking about. She's a fucking psychopath.
We have to always, I think as a society, we have to try to find the way to have the least amount of people suffer. We have to be smart, we have to think about it and have discussions about it. And sometimes there will be victims for the greater good, I think.
Right.
And I think that we all have a response.
Buildings will burn.
I think that we have to be brave enough to have those conversations.
I agree. That's another example of your extremism, though, is because most
having
people...
conversations?
No. I'm just saying specifically about like most people are the problem. They want to live they just want to have their own like life that's easy, whatever. They just want to stay to themselves, keep in their little circle, be the big fish. That most people are 80-20, right? You can be 80-20. You can be 80% something and then 20% something. So like my dad is an example, to continue to use my dad, my poor father.
50 years ago, this woman would have been locked up for being insane. You're actually probably correct. So yeah, you're right. Maybe we should go back to the old days. I mean, if we think about it, how many women... That's it. How many women? How many women do we have to put up with saying stuff like this before we go, should we repeal the 19th? I'm just saying, dude. Okay? I'm just saying what we're all thinking here. That's all I'm saying. Is it the 19th Amendment? Yeah, I think so.
His first name?
Jesse.
Sorry, Jesse.
He's a good guy. He has a great sense of humor. He won't be offended. Let's say he does 20% of what he does is trying to do stuff for the community and help out, right?
Okay.
And 80% he's taking care of my mom.
Yeah, you don't have to be provocative. If you're going out and you're like, oh, I do charity work every week. Oh, well, you're not yelling about veganism, so you're not actually doing good in the world. It's like, okay, but the good this person does is just different from the good that you want to do. So
He's taking care of
why
his property.
do
He's
women?
doing stuff with me, interacting with me. So it's not all black and white. That's what I'm saying. There's a value to that extremism. And then my example of my
that's
father
important.
was that he's not like that. He would be more than willing to support a cause, but if it takes away from that 80% that he loves, that keeps him balanced and sane, and that makes him feel good to be living on Earth.
And it helps you to feel good because he's taking care of you. He's got your back or whatever. Like
Exactly.
I see the value in that.
Yeah. You see how she's backpedaling now because she feels embarrassed?
In that sense, I'm not a leftist in the sense that I do believe in the family unit, like in a way, you know, like so I'm torn, right? Because I believe that we need.
I mean, some crazy lefties don't believe in the family unit, but most people on the left like believe in the family unit, right? Like, okay, whatever. We're
Good
getting
fathers,
so
we
okay.
need good mothers, or it could be two dads. I'm not saying. I'm just saying we need good parents. We need a community.
Yes,
I
I would
believe
say
in
we
the
need a good everybody needs a good masculine and feminine individual in their life, a strong guidance figure for both of those.
idea of church, the idea of going to a building once a week and being quiet and listening to some words of wisdom, not religious stuff, but like the greatest. Imagine if the greatest speakers are like we were read, you know, Socrates, or somebody read to us Stoicism. Like, here's your idea, here's our ideas, our suggestions for the week. Try to think of these things, right?
Yeah, that's a Wordle. You go to Wordle for of the day. So
All went out and we all came back the next week. How did you do? Did you do the thing? You know,
Yeah.
How great would that be?
A lot of those guys, those philosophers, though, they all withdrew themselves from society because there was no way for what they believed in to fit in with society. So they just
you got
withdrew
her.
themselves at the risk of going insane. Like my favorite.
Like I think Gary Yourofsky did.
Right, exactly.
That's
He had to.
because he was just going insane. Gary Yourofsky is a very strong animal rights activist, in case nobody knows. And one of the reasons that I'm vegan, and one of the reasons that I'm so outspoken, because he just realized he could, after all these years, his family was still assholes. They were still eating meat in front of him, and it would have been so easy for them to not be. And because he found, I think,
you could just go eat your dinner in front of the television, sir. Boom. Then you don't have to worry about it. Okay.
animal rights activists not.
You think it's time for me to go through my red pill arc? I would be. You know what's really interesting? I would be very good at being a red pillar. I would be very good at it. I could grift the fuck out of red pill so hard, and my wife would let me do it because she loves me. I don't actually think she would let me do that because she doesn't love me
as strong as he was hoping they would be.
Yeah, I think too. Another thing, the withdrawing yourself from society as like a result of something. My favorite books or my favorite stories, lessons, whatever, are from the Transcendentalists, like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau.
He's Unitarian.
Right. Yeah. Okay. As a
Did
good
you know that?
example.
By the way?
Yes.
So you know about the religion a bit, or you've heard about it anyway.
I've heard about it. It's one of those things that doesn't really stick out in my mind.
Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah, those guys. I mean, that's their thing is to just withdraw themselves from society and then critique it from afar, and then provide their own examples, and then live their own lives outside of it. Which
It's kind of difficult to critique a society though, if you don't live in it. I mean, you can critique it generally, but
find that very interesting and very. It seems fulfilling to me to be able to just have your own thing because there's too many voices. There's just too much going on, and like for a long time we were tribal and had just a small group of people to worry about. So when it gets beyond that, some people just aren't cut out for it, and then there's people like you who are extremists. I don't mean that negatively, by the way.
I do.
What's the statistic? Something like that you can be friends or have a tribe of 150 and then it has to split? Is that?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it's interesting. But anyways, a little lost in the weeds there. But I feel like that was very, very valuable conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I never told you about the nude beach.
Let's hear.
I don't know how we got off the
Is there
subject.
a video of it?
Show me. Show me the nude beach. I don't want to hear about anything that vegans here. Show me the nude beach. Show it to me. That's what I want to see.
No. Okay, so just quick. So what it was is there's a camp, and it's a Unitarian camp, and they have a clothing optional beach. It's not very big, and it's clothing optional, and it's very respectful. It's very interesting because there's kids there and grandparents, old hippies, and it is just like nobody gives a shit. Somebody's just reading a book there, and they got their boobs all out, and they're all different body types. Like, so my kids would see that. When my kids were little, they all wore bathing suits. Well, we didn't know what it's like when kids are really young. Sometimes they run around because their diaper's wet, and they just go,
I did that.
Right, okay. So there's that, but then there's that stage where everyone always keeps a bathing suit on, and then it's like, anyway. So it was kind of interesting. I took my kids to the other beach, and then as they grew up, they started to go to the camp by themselves. And then I found out that they were, going naked with all their friends. We did synchronized swimming, a bunch of women together, and things like that.
I don't know how the fuck I would feel about that for my kids. That just sounds so weird, bro.
So
but okay,
I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It's not a big deal, and
I love pulling the wiener out. If it was more legal, I'd do it more.
Incredible.
It's legal. It's not illegal though. It is very legal.
Yeah, it makes me really uncomfortable.
What
when
up,
people
Dan
do it.
Tavius?
Like it happened to me beside. I went to a movie by myself, Chariots of Fire, one time when I was younger. I used to do things about it. And beside was an Academy Award-winning movie. I thought I want to see this movie that everyone's seen. And I was a nurse, so I was working all different shifts.
And you saw a dick instead?
I just went instead, and some guy just came in. The theater's like sort of empty.
Yeah. I'll make a new channel. I'll be a RedTube VTuber, and I'll do like a voice change, and I'll just espouse the most base shit ever. Okay.
Literally comes and sits like.
Who comes
right
and
beside
shits?
me, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is weird, but I'm not moving. Fuck this.
Sitting and crying.
Why should I move? Yeah, okay, it's bizarre, but
True.
anyway, then sure enough,
Pulled his wiener out.
at one point he starts
Old as
rubbing
me.
himself. I'm like, okay, now I'm leaving. Now
What the
then,
fuck is happening
I was a
here?
young lady, like I was young, like 20, and so I went downstairs and I said, there's a guy masturbating beside me, and they're like, oh shit. I said, can you take him out?
Pee Wee Herman.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Didn't he get in trouble for that? I think. he did.
Something like that.
Yeah, something.
Anyway, I just told them and then I left, you know. But
Good move.
this is one of the beginnings of me realizing that it's the part of it is like. So I had a lot of bad experiences with men actually as well.
That's fair. A lot of people have.
A lot of
Yeah.
men are kind of.
I know a lot
I
of
hate
men.
to group them all together, but
I know a lot of
Me
men
too.
and a lot of
You
them are
do.
Me too.
dickheads.
They're
A
my
lot of them are
dad.
dickheads. That's why I got my baby boys with me because they're good folk. They're good people, and we're getting
stuff.
better every day.
that's good. Happy to hear it.
So yeah, you made a video a year ago, and you talked about banned words. Is the infamous N-word incident?
There we go.
Infamous
Which one?
N-word. The one that I saw that I'm speaking of specifically is the one
The one where you took the N-word and you put it on the screen. That's the one. Okay?
where you had the N-word as an
What's the N word?
the N-word that is used to refer to black people in a racist way.
Yeah.
I don't know which one you mean. Can you say it?
No.
What is she doing?
Why?
Because it's very, very. I mean, the world we live in, I have the right to
Disrespectful.
self-preserve. It would be. I admit that it is just a word, it is a sound, but at the same time, a lot of people find it incredibly disrespectful to just say.
Do you find it? When you look at a dictionary, and you see it written there. You're like, that's disrespect. Do you go out and cross it out everywhere?
No, because a dictionary is just providing the definition of the word. It is not a person with any bias. A person saying it. Listen, in context, if somebody said the N-word in context, I wouldn't be, well, I mean, I'm white, I'd never be offended, but I wouldn't see that as disrespectful. You know, whatever. But you're on the internet, so it'd be a stupid idea to do. But generally speaking, you should just not say the word. Frankly, we should try to let it die. We should get rid of all forms of the N-word, okay? Get rid of them, okay?
I'm a white person, so no. I've never been called the N-word, so I have no idea.
You've been called?
I've
I
never
have
been
been.
called the N-word, so I don't have. The point is, a lot of people are very, very,
too.
very attached to that word in a negative way,
Right.
Yeah.
which is completely valid.
And I would never call somebody that.
Of course not.
Because it's mean, and why would you do it?
So then what's her
Right?
point?
Yep.
But I completely fundamentally disagree with banning any words. And I think this is what's wrong, is that we
That's not the problem. Is that you tried to redefine it. You put it on a screen next to a black doll. Nincompoop. Cum. Nin, cum, and poop. That's actually probably my favorite word because it has cum and poop in it.
are now starting to ban words, and when that's okay, you're going to start banning more words.
Nobody's banning words. It's like socially banning words. Like, why do you want to say that word so bad? What is it? What's the, does it make you feel strong? Probably what it is. When I used to say that word when I was young and played video games, you feel powerful saying something so oppressive. I never say it to a black person, always to my white friends, but you're like, yeah, edgy, epic word. Pogger, you know? Yeah. But
and then
shouldn't say
guns,
it.
and then gays.
Oh, ban the guns!
I see.
Fuck, why did I say that? This is going to be a
I
lot of
promised you, I will not. I won't fuck you over it. I promise.
No, but it's whatever.
Don't ban the guns. Trump 2020. No, for real though. I agree. I don't think words should be banned, but I think it's completely valid for a lot of people to get very angry at someone for saying a word. I don't think it should
I
be compelled
don't
by the
agree.
law.
I think
Okay.
they should be angry if it's used in a context that's hurtful.
Okay, that's fair.
And there's nothing.
What context? You really can't use the N-word in a non-hurtful context unless you're just expressing the existence of it. Okay, whatever. She's a fucking idiot, dude.
Wrong with somebody like me who made the suggestion out of the goodness of my heart, and I thought to myself, how would I do this? I challenged
Right.
my victimhood, and I thought, okay, how would I feel if this word is so hurtful? You need to look at me because I'm making a good point. Now you're looking at your notes, but this is
I was
important.
just making sure I was on the right page.
Okay, this is important.
Okay, go ahead.
Right? Why is it wrong for a white person to make a suggestion? And if a black person made that suggestion, they would think, that's interesting, let's consider that. That's racism right there. And
So first and foremost, okay, it's not racism, it's nuance. Considering mostly white people historically have used the N-word to heavily oppress black people, it's one of the reasons why white people, usually you just don't say something like that. But here's the thing. Let's check this out. Hey, guys, and I've said this before, there's antagonistic ways to do things and non-antagonistic ways to do things. As a white person, guys, here's my take. I think that we should phase out all uses of the N-word, whether it's with an A or an R, whether you're black or white. Me saying that, you might be like, it's a dumb white guy, but you're not gonna sit here and be like offended by what I'm saying. Now, if I opened up Paint right now and I put both versions of the N-word, you know, I wrote them out and I started like defining them. Like N is naturally intelligent, gorgeous, gallant, right? Now you might be like, well, this guy this guy wants to call me the N-word, right? That's what's happening here. So her perspective of being a provocateur constantly online and expressing that and then saying like, why can't I just make a suggestion? You're not just making a suggestion. You're being a fucking moron. This is two different things. It's a completely different thing. That's all it really boils down to.
That's what I disagree with. Anybody should be able to make a suggestion, and my suggestion was, when I wrote the thing, if let's say I had adopted a dark-skinned child, right? What would I say to her? You're a victim, this is terrible, you should cry every day somebody says the word. No, I would say, it sucks.
Well, no, you probably wouldn't really bring the word up to them unless somebody called them the word. That's how, but okay.
Those people are mean, but here's what you do. You just duck out of the way,
Yeah.
right? Or
what you do is you show them the drawing of how I redefined it, and you said, oh, you're calling me the N-word? Well, it's actually a compliment. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
in your mind, you think, what does that stand for? And I made an acronym. Naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary, radiant.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I thought to myself, if I have
Incredible.
if one of my kids marries a dark-skinned girl and they have a child,
A dark-skinned girl. I just love the way she talks. If one of my kids married a darkie, they would, hey, it's not a problem with me. Those dark skins. Like, okay, it's interesting terminology.
that's what I would say to my granddaughter. When they call you that, that's what you are. You say, yes, I am.
Would you say the
And the wife of your son's gonna be like, what the fuck is up with your mom? She's pissing me off. Tell her to stop.
word?
Would I say the word in the kitchen? Or whatever, if I'm talking to
Well,
her?
you asked me if I would say the word.
No, listen, if I was talking to my granddaughter who had dark skin, let's say, right?
Okay.
Yes, I would say the word. I say, if they call you this N-word, I'm not going to say it now. Why? Because we have a fucked up world, and you will be canceled, and so will I, right?
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with saying it. If I knew for a fact that your views would not
Based.
go down, and that everyone would be sane,
Based.
and that YouTube
Fucking
wouldn't
based.
right?
I could bleep it.
I would say it.
I'll bleep it.
I'm not going to say it. I don't trust you. So I'm not stupid. I'm not black and white. I'm somebody who
What
understands
if
the
I
nuance.
promise? I feel like if I have,
And why would I say it? What's the point?
well, because you're not afraid to say words.
I'm not
But you're morally chastising him for not saying it, and then you're not saying it. So that's the problem that we're having here.
afraid to say it in the right context. And I think if we're talking about something,
valid,
that
right.
it's no point in me
I
saying
can't
it.
wait for her to make her rounds in like the red pill community. Because she's so fucking based, dude.
Know what we're talking about, right? And so I'm just saying that yes, I would tell my granddaughter or any other child, and that was what I was trying to do, is to say, look, these people are mean, so when they tell you the word or they call you that, just say, yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave you the example about being queer. When I was younger, the word queer meant
Right.
something bad. And they said, oh yeah? You're not going to hurt us with
Yeah.
that word. We're going to claim it.
You funny.
We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. And I thought,
here.
what a fucking smart thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what, and you know, the black people have already done that anyway. They already call each other that. And sometimes they even allow their white friends to say it, but it's only certain people at certain times, and you only have the
An
hard
inward
R
pass.
and this. Oh my God,
Yeah,
this is all
inward pass.
bullshit.
I think that nuance just upsets that vegan teacher. She just doesn't get it.
A lot of rules. There's a lot of rules to it.
There are different spheres that we all exist in, and some of those spheres are more acceptable with different things. If you have black friends, they're like, yeah, you could say the word to us. God bless you. In that sphere, your local sphere, that's fine. But when you're on the internet, you're in a different sphere. Generally, it's okay. It's good to be a little more sensitive to different groups because you're speaking to 1,000 different groups of people when you're here. When I'm talking, I mean, nobody really watches my content. But you're speaking to 1,000 different groups of people on the internet. So it's good to be aware of that and be sensitive to as many of those groups as you possibly can. Versus when you're in person, you're sitting there. Okay, it's different. Right? It's different. Yeah. Hey, guys, it's Dark History Month, guys. It's Dark Skin History Month, guys. All right? Just so you know.
But yeah, okay. Well, that's yeah. There you go.
Something.
So-
Explain
There you
that.
go.
That's how I feel about the racism thing. I think I've explained myself
Yeah.
about the transphobia, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, this is
You
a
explained
drastic
it,
jump from what we just
but-
talked about. You had a channel called The Teacher.
Yeah.
What was
The what?
a drastic jump from what we just talked about? You had a channel called The
What teacher?
Teacher.
Yeah.
What was that? What were you trying to teach about?
Well, the Holocaust never ended because
Oh, the Holocaust teacher.
we've been abusing animals and people forever. All that's happened is that, you know, the humans, luckily, they shut down that part of it, but they are still continuing with the animals. The pigs
True.
are still going in gas chambers. And the reason I called it that is I can't remember. It actually
That seems pretty fucked up. We shouldn't be putting pigs in gas chambers because, like, what if I eat the gassed meat? Right?
had a different name to begin with, I think.
Like, listen, she's not necessarily wrong. It's just the insensitivity because the instant thing that happens is people compare those animals to Jews. Because it's like, if you're saying that there's an animal holocaust, like, and she doesn't just say it like that. The way she's talked about it historically has been like very loaded. It does the thing that Nazis were doing, which was comparing Jews to animals, which justified them doing that in like the first place, basically. So that's why people get like offended when she says like ridiculous shit like that.
Something, and I thought, you know what, I want to be I want to test. I want to push the envelope. I want to see how far I can go with this.
It is pushing the envelope.
It is, because people, again, another word, like how dare you, but simply means mass destruction on a large scale. That's what it means. You talk about a nuclear, what are they talking
I
about?
suppose. Yeah,
People
sure.
dying overtly from a nuclear blast.
On a large scale,
Bad.
right? Bad, right? Preventable.
Do you see how that would upset people, though?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, what do you mean? What do you want me to say? Yes, of course I do on one level. Of course, that's why I did it, because I want to make people aware and to think about it. I don't want to upset them. I want them to make them go, what?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is you want to upset them. You said this before. You're using that specifically to upset people to get your message out there. And that's what you're doing. That's fine. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you're trying to be sensitive and at the same time that you're trying to be a provocateur.
Oh, and how did we come up with this idea? It wasn't me that came up with it. It was Jewish people who became vegan because of what happened in the
Now,
There's one guy named Alex Herschel, and you can hear his speech. And it is very interesting. He's the one who had family members who were in the Holocaust, and he realized one day he was just looking at, the branding that they put on their arms and the branding that you put on the animals, and he was looking at the enslavement and the inhumanity of it all, and the gas chambers. Like, there's so many things that are the same. And if you don't think it's the same, then explain to me how it's not. And you're going to say, well, one's animals and one's people. And I'm going to say, so? And you're going to say, well, because one's animals and one's people. And I'll say, so? And then it comes down to, well, one is smarter than the other. And is that how we measure what's important?
No, the way we measure what's important is they're humans. That's it. That's literally all it comes down to for me. I don't care about intelligence. I do, but like when it comes to, at the end of the day, they're human beings, right? And it's mean. I'm sorry, but that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
Happen to like ants, and you said you like bees because there's a certain intellect, and we sort of had a bit of a talk about that, right? Versus a firefly.
I'm an animal rights psychopath.
Yeah.
I've only like bugs that provide entertainment and
Fair
animals
enough.
that provide entertainment.
Yeah, well, you have your issues. You do. You have your issues, but you also have some potential. Because people who are a bit people who are a bit different can be different in a good way.
She's about to say people on the spectrum, bro. She's literally about to say people on the spectrum, bro. This is so funny. Oh my god. People on the people that are different. This is incredible.
Because people who are a bit people who are a bit different can be different in a good way. And I've said it to you before, but I mean,
Okay.
You don't want to insult your audience, but you're too smart to do what you're doing. Like I'm seeing you evolve. I'm seeing you evolving, and you should be,
Yeah, you're evolving out of that autism. Okay.
I'm hoping that you're gonna be awesome.
Next stop is porn for me. All right, sorry. So we'll go back to
These are
the.
just base as fuck.
I feel like that's a good response to the or a good explanation for the Holocaust type stuff, right?
It's not at all to say that what the Jews went through wasn't horrible. It was horrific.
Of course.
It was wrong.
Of course.
And we should learn from that and channel that energy and see what else is wrong. Carting sentient beings off to slaughter, to be used as objects, commodified, all of it. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
By that logic, though, that means meat eaters would be as bad as Nazis.
Well, it depends who. Okay, if you're a 10-year-old meat eater, you're not.
But
If
what
you
about
are
a 20-year-old?
if you are a 26-year-old who knows what's going on and has seen the documentaries, you know who Gary Yoffsky is. You've seen.
That means what she's saying is you should not watch the documentaries. Okay, don't watch them, because if you know, then you're a Nazi. But if you are not aware, if you're blissfully ignorant, you're good. Okay.
Dominion.
Yeah.
You know who Carnism Debunked is?
Yes.
Right? You know all that?
George Jones.
You choose deliberately to eat meat because you don't give a fuck? Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is psychopathy?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm a psychopath?
May I ask what's wrong with what she's saying? There's nothing necessarily wrong with what she's saying. Okay. Here's the problem. This perspective from that vegan teacher is not what she ever says. If this was her narrative from the start, it would be fine. The way that she's presenting what she's saying is she's trying to rewrite history, right? We're talking about somebody. She doesn't come on and say you should be vegan because of this for X, Y, and Z. What she does is she constantly shames people and calls them mass murderers for not being vegan. She is disrespectful to like LGBTQ people, says that coming out as vegan is harder than coming out as gay or trans. She'll fucking throw the N-word up on the screen. Like she doesn't have a respectful tone when she ever talks about anything. Fundamentally, it makes sense as a society with the financial ability to do so, to gravitate towards being vegan, to be less hateful to or less harming to animals. That's a fair message, but she even admits that she says it in a provocative way to upset people and frustrate people. So she's just kind of an asshole. That's really what it boils down to. That's it. The fundamental message is fine, and I've stated that multiple times, like every time I cover her. But the reality is that she is putting on a performance to piss people off so that they'll look at her message. So that's where the bit of the grift comes into play here.
sociopath, some, I don't know, narcissist, something's wrong.
Douche.
Bare
Douchebag.
minimum, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I don't know, right? I mean, I think
Everyone
that-
is capable of good.
Look, you know, when you mentioned before I came here that you had autism or Asperger's, right?
Asperger's.
Like, you know, people say,
Well, it's all called autism spectrum disorder. Okay, stop it with Asperger's. It doesn't exist. We eradicated Asperger's with Obamacare. We've destroyed it. All right.
I can't be vegan because I have autism. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? I can't be vegan because I'm in a wheelchair. What?
Oh, you didn't know who this lady was? Oh, I thought you knew who that vegan teacher was. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Be vegan because I have an eating disorder. So how is the animal's problem?
What?
I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? I can't be vegan because I'm in a wheelchair. What? I can't be vegan because I have an eating disorder. So how?
I feel like if you have an eating disorder, you don't have to be vegan. That at the bare minimum, if you have an eating disorder. Listen, we should just grow laboratory meat. How about that? Your bro is diagnosed with Asperger's? I don't know. I think that I'm right, but who fucking goes or cares?
How is the animal's problem that you have an eating disorder? Just fucking get a vegan doctor. I don't get it. Right?
Okay.
Again, being vegan is doing your best.
Right.
If for some reason you really, really can't eat whatever it is, just do your best. Are you doing your best to not be an asshole to the animals? After I leave
Are you
here,
doing your best to not be an Asperger to the animals? Come on.
will you do your best to not be an asshole? Will you be vegan fantastic and make some effort?
Vegan fantastic.
Then, no, you're not a sociopath, and then you're not a bad guy. You're just a guy on a journey to try to do better.
I'm just intellectually constipated currently.
There you go. That's beautiful.
I do always want to do better.
I
By the
don't.
way, just in general.
I do. Sorry.
And like,
Well, prove it. Okay, prove it to me after I leave here.
All right, I'll eat a vegetable.
Communicate with me on a regular basis when you do something good. And don't just take pictures on your site of you with a gun and you with fondling nipples and freaking whatever kind of
was
bizarre.
you.
I was looking at
that
them.
was you, all right?
I was like,
I don't fondle nipples. All right.
and just so everyone knows.
Oh, I'm right. It was right before the Asperger's thing. Yeah, I think Obama did it so that it would be easier to get treatment for your autism, because it was like they classified it so many different ways. It made it difficult. Insurance companies tried to dodge out of it. So Obama's just like, you know what? Everything is autism now, autism spectrum disorder, and it makes it easier for you to actually get access to healthcare.
Right? That prop was over on the floor somewhere. I brought it to the counter.
I was using it.
I brought this to the counter because I thought this is going to be an interesting image, and if they have an interesting image, it's going to draw attention to veganism, and you guys are all going to watch Dominion because I looked at those boobs. It's all part of like me trying to find something that people will latch onto. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, if
How
this
about a nipple? People love latching onto nipples.
I feel like this is not going to have I feel like this video in
What's my favorite vegan teacher moment? I think it's when she called me fat. It was very funny to me.
general will have a net positive outcome, in my opinion.
I hope so.
Yeah. I always try to just be, entertaining or whatever and not try to scam my audience or just do overtly bad. I probably do too much selfish stuff, I would say. But at the same time, I'm getting better.
Well,
never stop learning.
like I said, I hope so. But see, the problem is if you say, "Oh, I'm just an asshole, I'm going to eat me," like you're basically teaching all the teenagers out there that it's okay to be like Caleb, and they're going to start sending me all these different pictures of them eating animals. Like I haven't seen a million.
They do that.
probably a
That
billion
is
times.
crazy that people do that.
Like, can you just tell them? Can you just do me a favor and just not take it? Okay, you know what? You did a video recently where you're all holding peanut butter jars, and you were like doing this to it. Okay, do more of that.
That was a while ago.
Okay, well I don't know. I just
It was
see
Peanut
stuff.
Butter Friday, right?
Right, that's right. Okay, whatever you're doing. I'm just saying. Do whatever you want with peanut butter. Do whatever you want. You want to put some
Whatever I want. Oh yeah, that vegan teacher. What are the vegan morals of me putting the peanut butter, me fucking a jar of peanut butter, and then simply, in the comfort of my own home, sitting on the floor, naked. That's it. And if I happen to have a dog, I'm not encouraging the dog to do anything. But if he walked up if he or she walked up to me or them, dog gender, and they started to engage with the peanut butter, Is that ethical? Is that ethical? I didn't ask the dog to do it. I'm allowed to be naked in my own home. I'm allowed to do whatever I want with that peanut butter that I bought. So, explain to me, what's the ethical problem? I don't think that you can explain. I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can come up with an argument against it. Checkmate, liberals.
Some apples in your boot.
Whatever I want.
Want to put some apples in your boot? You want to do whatever with fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes? Fine.
Yeah.
Please, I'm asking you as a favor. Do not glorify the meat that you're eating, or just draw attention to the positive, please.
Okay. That's fair. That's completely. There's nothing wrong with what you just said.
Well, then you know what? You're like the first person who's agreed to that, because that's what I asked to call me Chris. That's what I asked of Sniper Wolf and of Gordon Ramsay, and it's so easy to do. Just don't be a fucking prick. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a bitch.
So if
just be nice.
Whoa!
You're fantastic. Just help us.
What if? So okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying though. I see what you're saying. I was gonna propose it. Yeah, that's. I understand what you're saying. That makes sense.
Okay. Wow. Incredible video. That's all I have to say.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.